scoring tickets for a night out at the ballpark, or witnessing the rising stars of women's basketball, Vivid Seats has you covered. With a robust rewards program and wide selection of tickets, Vivid Seats makes it easy to score great deals on great seats with a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you the peace of mind for the ultimate fan experience. Just visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Herod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball, with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Hi, this is Melissa with True Grit Running Company. Is someone special to you missing out on life because of foot pain? Let's face it, if your feet hurt, you don't want to go anywhere. Give the gift of freedom. Check out our store for all kinds of options to benefit your special someone. We have perfect gifts for those suffering from a variety of foot issues, such as plantar fasciitis, bunions, tendonitis, diabetes care, neuropathy, or just tired and achy feet. Visit us today at True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
At Dobson Fiber, we're helping you build stronger connections by bringing the fastest internet network available to your business. Why fiber? Fiber internet provides reliable, symmetrical, blazing speeds. Without any interruptions or buffering, you can rely on Dobson for all your data needs. With Dobson Fiber as your premium internet provider, you can focus on the things that matter and the connections you build. To see if fiber is available to you, visit Dobson.net. Dobson Fiber, building stronger connections.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird, Limbird Real Estate Group, has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home, quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Tonight, mainly clear sky, and overnight low will drop down into the middle 70s. We're back to a bounty of sunshine Wednesday, a high mid to upper 90s. Thursday, blue skies, sunshine, a high in the middle to upper 90s. And Friday, plenty of sunshine. Our high temperatures right around 95 to 99 degrees. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 29 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here. Got to respect it. Ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin State dominate. and we're not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Well, Jones, take it to the house.
You both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my hot dog? Let's go, man.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Even one Razorback. It's vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Morning, everybody. Welcome into halftime and happy start to practice for Arkansas football as we get you started here one day before the month of August begins. It's halftime on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. I'm Phil Elson along with Matt Jones. Kristen Johnston in our studios producing today. And we got you for about 3 hours in a show that's a little bit different than usual on Wednesday. No Clay Henry today. He is out. We'll be talking with Grant Hall in about 15 minutes. And I didn't wake up feeling my best today. I thought maybe I'd be able to get through maybe the first segment without even realizing it, but it hits you. When it hits you and that brain fog starts to take over a little bit, felt it a little bit last night. Waking up at about 1 o'clock in the morning, some of those body chills, the muscle chills, a little bit of a cough, a little bit of a runny nose. Turned out this morning as I went and got tested, the vid is back. Got it this morning, guys, and don't feel my best. Wouldn't say that I feel like hell frozen over or anything like that, but it's the brain fog that just sort of like affects me in a way that you just can't really plan for. I can talk. I can move around a little bit. Doesn't feel great. I can think, but Matt, I think my brain and my mouth are just not quite connected the way that they usually would be. Well, but I'll make it through this because, this has happened once or twice before to a lot of us.
Well, yeah, welcome to my world. But you look good. So we got that going for us. I feel sorry for the fish. I know if Clay Henry's out, that I know who to feel sorry for because he'll be what they call it, ripping lips. He'll be tearing them up.
Well, I know I'm excited to whenever it is I start feeling better again, but. Took about a week. The first time that was what? I forget if it was 2 or 3 years. I think it was 2 years ago, and here we go again. So anyway, we'll battle through it. We got a lot of Arkansas football to get to. Sam Pittman spoke to the media yesterday, and he will be doing the same thing today because practice starts at 5 minutes after 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Great day to be outside practicing football with another heat advisory all across the state. Heard from Ben Souders and Coach Pittman yesterday, so we've got some sound specifically from Sam Pittman. And, it is fun hosting sports radio in the middle of the day during the Olympics because I can watch some of this stuff happening live as it occurs. You got women's basketball 3-on-3, Canada and China. Playing right now, I see the men's gymnastics all-around final, and there's a lot of other things I'll be able to get my eyes on while we're hosting the show today. We got basketball, USA against South Sudan later on in the afternoon. So, and of course, you got a women's gymnastics gold for the Golden Girls last night, or as I read about, I guess Simone Biles was more joking about this. I don't know if she meant to call her team this, but she did kind of call them the F around and find out. Apparently they're still a little bit upset I wouldn't even say a little bit upset. Former teammate Michaela Skinner, who I think this was after the U.S. Qualifying tournament, Matt, said that this year's Team USA outside of Simone Biles wasn't quite as talented, doesn't work as hard, blamed Safe Sport for that, and now Biles and her teammates keeping a lot of receipts on that. So they called it the F around and find out. But it's kind of back where women's gymnastics is supposed to be for the United States, a gold, and just not at 28 years old for Simone Biles. That's absolutely amazing.
when you win the war, you get to write the book, and everybody reads that book. I saw the women's rugby team that last second win. I mean, just 99% against you is talking about the odds, and truck stick that looked like Eddie Lacy.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie Lacy just did the Madden truck stick and then just turned on the Jets, and nobody caught her. How cool was that? And then so you got the LA Olympics. And I know it's going to be more than just LA, but it's in the USA Olympics coming up in 4 years. A wealthy investor donated $4 million, $1 million a year, to get ready for the LA Olympics after this. I mean, so talk about just riding high. Just
for the rugby sevens, for women's rugby sevens.
Absolutely. So I just saw that come across the line today. So that was pretty cool. So going forward. Now they said that women's rugby's only been in there since 2016, or it came back in 2016.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
it's a relatively newer sport.
They usually have 11 in rugby, but this is a lower amount.
So,
this is sevens.
And so you saw that, Phil, and this is the concept of the new kickoff. You saw exactly how that play worked, right? How they're all in a line like that. How you got all 11 of your girls, and so if you're going to say guys for football, whatever, but all of your teammates and your players. There was nobody back, so once you break that first wave, man, you get to shoot across, and so that's what the concept is with the new kickoff. That's what your plan is, but you got to have safeties back. I can't believe Australia and that they didn't have somebody back. You got to have at least 2 center fielders, 2 safeties back when there's 3 seconds left.
And nobody was going to catch her as she took it all the way to the end.
That's the concept. Yeah, that's that you get a kick returner and you break that first wall. Everybody's so far spread out because you're man on a man, your hat on a hat, so to speak. Man, you get it and go. You could see some electric runs in kick returns.
Yeah, they have some sports that aren't, I guess you would say, are officially sanctioned Olympic sports, but are just sports for on display. I don't remember the exact terminology, but they did this with baseball in '84. I think that was the first time that baseball had been an Olympic sport, but it wasn't a full Olympic sport. It's like, all right, we're here in the States, so we'll have baseball. Sounds like rugby sevens might have been that at some point as well. Did you ever play rugby? I mean, this is we liken it to football in a sense, but man, that's a big ball. You don't have the helmet, and I'm sure you played 7-on-7 before. It would be a little bit different without the helmet.
Where you play offense, defense, yeah, no question. And you saw that the Australian team, they missed a field goal. I don't know if it's a 3-pointer or a 5-pointer, but it would have it made it a 2-score game. So even after that long run, she had the Doug Flutie kick it over the goalpost to win for the 2 points. So it was just
the drop
tied.
kick.
Still had to do the drop kick. That's the thing. How many times do you think it would take you? 5 times you think you could make that? You could figure that out, that drop kick?
They're like right up. They're like, how far away from the goal?
2-point for that 2-point one? It's a 5-yarder. It's like a free throw. But they go.
I mean, I'd like to think I could make that, but I bet you I'd kick a ground ball.
If I gave you practice and then brought you back the next day and we put 20,000 fans in the stadiums and you just made an 80-yard run, then
I can't handle the pressure.
Yeah,
No, I don't think I'd be able to handle the pressure, Matt. I can barely string 2 words together, trying to get my thoughts in order today.
It was super cool. And then Leon, if you know the Frenchman that won the 400 IM, he qualified for the 200 breaststroke and the 200 butterfly stroke. First Olympian ever to qualify for the final in both those events, which will be going on tonight. Michael Phelps's coach is his coach, so it's he just broke when he won the 400 IM. He broke Michael Phelps's record, a while back. So that he's considered the best swimmer in the world right now.
I saw that Razorback swimmer Anna Hopkin swam a couple of rounds yesterday in the 100-meter freestyle, finished 11th overall. She'll be in the 50-meter prelim on Saturday, and then there's mixed 4x100-meter medley prelims on Friday. The 50-meter freestyle heat, like that's like your 100-meter dash. Your 100-yard dash, or not even that, like a 40-yard dash, I think, in track. I mean, that is literally a sprint from the start. One length of the pool. She won a gold in the medley, the 4x100 medley with Great Britain in Tokyo 3 years ago. So maybe a chance to bring. We're thinking track so much for Arkansas Olympians, and that doesn't start until Friday. Maybe we'll have a swimming medal come back, just like we did in 2021.
Man, it's been fun. I know Great Britain won the 4x2 relay where there's four guys are swimming 200 meters. They won that pretty good. USA.
You've got to be loving this, Matt, because you have an appreciation, and I think we've talked about this a little bit in that the whole 100 greatest athletes of the 21st century that ESPN put out, and man, you really do. You separate between those who play professional sports for a living and athletes specifically when you're talking about speed and how high can you jump and how hard can you punch and all of those kinds of things. You must just absolutely love. The show's over, and usually you'd head home if there's soccer on at 2:00. You're putting that on. I know you love that, but now you get a chance to literally watch Olympic athletes, the best in the world, competing for 8 hours, 9 hours straight.
Growing up in a coach's family, if you were a skill position player, you ran track. If you were coming out for football and you wanted to touch the ball, you went and ran track. I love to see Coach Cal getting a little bit, just get something in the off season for a couple of days, just to kind of get it in their mind. The most explosive athletes in the world are track athletes. I mean, so why not use the best track program you got in the country? Coach Nutt did really good about that. The D-backs, Lawrence Richardson, Eddie Jackson, Fred Talley, Cedric Cobbs, Ahmad Carroll. And that's just 5 right there off the top of my head that would go over there to track practice. And that's what you got to have speed. So if you're a skill guy in the off season and you're in 7th grade and you're in 10th grade, you got to run track. I mean, it's just part. And the worst practice of all of them, the worst practice is track practice, Phil. No athlete wants, that's the best shape of your life you're going to be in if you go through. That's why nobody wants to do it, because it's hard. These kids I don't. It's like, no, because it's real work. But then you see the results. Then you're go look at Christian McCaffrey's workout. I don't know if you've seen anybody out there seen what he does in the offseason. It's a track workout, and it helps you, and that's why he's one of the most explosive athletes on the field.
Yeah, and I certainly understand your differential between someone who's paid, to capitalize upon a skill in which pitchers are. And I'm not saying pitchers aren't athletes, but there are some that are a little bit bigger than most, and there's a difference, I think, between having a skill specifically and overall athleticism. If you're going to be a pitcher, you got to be able to balance, and you got to be strong in some areas. But there really aren't a lot of pitchers that are going to be winning 100-meter races. Base stealers will. A lot of football players will. Some basketball guys as well. But yeah, there's a difference between skill and out-and-out athleticism, which I think is exactly what you're talking about. And that's where we start halftime today on a Wednesday. I guess we'll be giving updates on whatever Olympic events are happening as we go throughout the show today. We've got a lot of them that are happening right about the time that we are on the air, which will include tennis, badminton, sailing, handball. I'm kind of interested in team handball. Water polo, I think, is something we can all understand as well. It's like you try to put on rugby. I don't really understand. I understand the idea of get the person to the ground. They got to put the ball through their legs, and then you go from there. But I don't really know what I'm watching. I can understand water polo.
They get together and the forces are going. I can't tell. It's like, so who really won that ball? But there's a ref out there. One thing that is super cool though, Fleetwood Mac is going to release a 1982 live album coming out this year. Yeah, they went back and got some old stuff that's from a show October 21st, 1982. 22 tracks. They're going to release it in September. So we're looking forward to that. That'll be cool.
That'll get Sam Pittman fired up, because I think that's usually first or second on the jukebox.
As it should be. We need a Fleetwood Mac. Let's go. September 7th, Fleetwood Mac. Well, actually, it's not going to be here till September 20th. But he's Coach Pittman. He's probably got the pre-order. He knows somebody. He's already got it.
Again, no Clay Henry today. It is Grant Hall in just a moment, and then it is you and us for the foreseeable future. Well, at least up until 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Grant Hall joins halftime right after this quick break.
This is halftime.
I think you can be awfully proud of the way your fans are with you. I've never seen stands so full of life. The whole state was behind you. There was a spirit there about it, Coach, and that means that your team has done something that's really great for this state.
Thank you, sir. We're very proud of our fans. They've had a big part in the success that we've had.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Taylor down the sideline. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Hey, folks, here at Road Chevrolet, 2800 Alma Highway in Van Buren, Crawford County's only new car dealer. I've got Grant Neal, general manager. Grant, man, what a great selection you guys have here at Road Chevrolet.
It's really awesome. You know, we've been looking at
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
It's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and HitThatLine.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive in DeQueen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This
Lifetime brought to you by Hardee's, ESPN Arkansas, and HitThatLine.com. Go to HitThatLine.com for more details, and let's secure your seat at the table. Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Headed over to our hotline and talking now with Grant Hall. We always appreciate a chance to speak with Grant, Hall of Famer, on Wednesdays, last day of July. Morning, Grant. You watching Olympics this morning?
Every bit. My wife watched equestrian, and the United States got nobody medaling in dressage. So it's kind of like the United States leads with the most medals, but about 5 or 6 countries have more gold medals through yesterday anyway. So, I've watched every sport I can watch.
Are there things you're watching twice? Are you watching it live and then watching the replay when it comes on during prime time? Because, it would seem, honestly, like the way that the men's team gymnastics won bronze, that's worth watching again. Same with gymnastics last night, the way the women won gold.
Yeah.
Fun to watch it two times.
Some of the swim events, but actually, if I watch swim in the afternoon, then I can watch the Cardinals for a while at night. And last night, Tommy Pham hit a pinch hit grand slam as the Cardinals fans welcomed him back.
Cool.
It's one of those magical St. Louis moments. Yeah.
That gets you thinking as far as people that come back. You had Evan Longoria for the Diamondbacks who came back, the last year. But when people make a return trip, who's the last time? Who's a famous athlete that's done that?
They said that it was the first time since '95. Yeah, but that was a little bit in terms of a trade. Like Pham was having some eye issues, I think, and he seems to have gotten those straightened out. By the way, guys, Benintendi's hitting 199 and Fletcher 179 for the White Sox, but they're both healthier now and back and playing. Someone told me yesterday that had seen Benintendi in Kansas City this year that he told him he's really been hurting all season, not just the IL. So those are uncharacteristic numbers for him.
I don't know about you, Grant, but I'm sort of fascinated by outright failure when it comes to baseball. So White Sox have a chance to set the record for losses. I even read where their manager, Pedro Grifol, said that it's all on the players. If they have one of the worst seasons of all time, it's all on the players. Nobody but the players. And I don't know if I've heard a manager say that before. He's also mandating running and batting practice every day, which I think is kind of rare for major leaguers.
I think they're 27 and 83. They've lost 16 in a row. And now the Cardinals got one of their pitchers. The Cardinals needed a fifth starter, so they went and got Fede, who's got a 3-something ERA. It feels like a fire sale. And then they lost DeYoung, who was one of their better hitters, to Kansas City, I think. So I'm not sure how they're going to win too many more games.
I could do baseball with you forever here. One more thing about that. You mentioned the Royals. We had somebody, I think it was Woods, called in yesterday asking about, like Paul Skeens. How long do the Pirates hold on to him when they try to trade him eventually, like 4 or 5 years down the line? Same with the Royals with somebody like Bobby Witt Jr., because you've got people that are describing him right now as the best player in the world, the best baseball player in the world. I think it's only his second year in the major leagues, and you just kind of, when you're a franchise like Kansas City or Pittsburgh, you've got to strike while the iron is hot. And that's why I'm ticked off at the Bucks, because they got an owner who doesn't know you strike while the iron is hot. He's more worried about what the payroll looks like.
The Bucks did get Beeks, I saw, if you're following Jalen Beeks. But yeah, Bobby Witt, he's hitting 340 something in an era when 250 or 260 is considered good these days. You don't get base hits up the middle anymore. Somebody's always playing there. That was a hit for 100 years. It's not anymore. But it's harder to have the high batting averages, so that really is impressive what he's doing.
Grant, will you be there today at practice? Will you listen to anything Sam Pittman's got going on today? What about yesterday? Did you like anything you heard, or what was kind of something that stood out?
Yeah, I took copious notes, not only from his presser yesterday, but Calipari the day before. So, that's kind of the 1-2 punch to get people interested in basketball and football. But yeah, they're going to go a little bit later, 5 o'clock today, beat the heat a little bit if they can. And I tell you, what's interesting to me about everything he talked about, he mentioned as 3 of the 6 leaders, offensive linemen, and we talked about this last week, but Fernando Carmona of San Jose State, by way of Las Vegas, is 6'5", 322. Keyshawn Blackstock of Michigan State is 6'5", 329. And Addison Nichols of Tennessee, by way of Norcross, Georgia, is also, I think, 6'5" and 3-something, 319. And he mentioned those guys as some of the leaders of the team. And 2 of them are from Georgia, which means that Sam has known them a long time, probably tried to recruit them, back in the day, or knew about them. So now I don't know about running back, Matt. It's great to have an offensive line, great to protect, but there are some new running backs on the team we haven't heard from yet, and they're gonna try to do play action. I mean, Bobby Petrino likes to throw the ball, as you know, and so I'm fascinated by what kind of mix they're going to have of running and passing.
Love some play action, especially you think of Tom Brady and that fake the power and then you throw it to Gronk. You know, when you're about on the 4-yard line, that red zone play action, and then being able to run the ball, you're going to be able to get that tight end wide open down the seam, running that hard play action and throwing right over the top. Grant, I'm getting excited. The closer it gets to football season, I think the more excited I get.
Well, especially when you mentioned tight end, Luke Hasz is back playing healthy, and I think that might have been the biggest single thing why they plummeted so much last year, because they lost him early to injury. He was doing well. He's really going to be good, is good. And then Sam mentioned Gumbs also, the kid from North Texas who played a little bit last year. And, he played, didn't catch many passes, I don't think, but Hasz is a potential difference maker. And I think, I tell you, as impressive as those two guys were to listen to, Ben Souders, the strength coach, who's been doing this for 16 years, but it's his second year at Arkansas. And some of the stuff he said yesterday he talked about how it's fun to go to work every day. There's a big difference, the energy in the air from last year to this year. And I even asked him, it's funny afterwards, what game day was like for him and all the things he does. And Clay Henry asked him about Bobby Petrino, and he said when Bobby Petrino walked in, there was instant respect from day one, and not just offensively. And he's a great teacher, and he's ready to get this bad taste out of his mouth. So I thought Souders really had one of the more interesting press conferences this week.
That's interesting, Grant, because I infer some things from answers like that. If Bobby Petrino gets immediate respect, does that mean Dan Enos did not get immediate respect as an offensive coordinator? The guy was a former head coach in college, for crying out loud, and he wasn't able to get immediate respect. It's the same idea with, well, if they're really happy going to work right now, how do they feel 365 days ago when, Souders is talking about this guy's running this speed, that guy's running that speed? Some of it is the same thing. I know he's comparing what it felt like during the season to what it feels like right now, but I never know what to believe when I'm hearing, from the first day. Like, I believe some of the stuff Sam is saying. For Souders, I'm inferring some other things from his answers.
Yeah, and you're right. Everybody has high spirits this time of year until you get hit in the mouth a few times. Like, what's it going to feel like and look like if they don't beat Oklahoma State, for example? Everybody I talk to thinks that is the huge game on the schedule just for confidence going forward. Green, for example, and Souders talked about him. He talked about how he leads by example, and I think the guy, Matt, he reminds me a lot of you. Not just physically, but in leadership qualities. So he gives them a chance if they can get something going early. But I hear what you're saying, Phil, about, but let's face it, Enos didn't have the pedigree that Bobby, he said if our guys didn't know who Bobby Petrino was, they could figure it out in 15 seconds, looking at it, Googling him. So he has accomplished a lot in football.
It's we last year, Grant, we talked about that schedule. There was like 4 games in our first 6, and you're just like, oh my goodness. It's kind of the same thing this year, Grant, when you think about it. At Oklahoma State, at Auburn, on the road, A&M, before you get your first home conference game at Tennessee. And I know this Oklahoma State game is very important, and I think it's aesthetically more important than anything. If you lose by 3, you can go back and work on something. You lose by 4 touchdowns, then you're in trouble. But at Auburn, September 21st, to start the SEC season, you don't want to be 2-2 after that game.
Now, Hugh Freeze has a knack, and that's why what you're saying, Matt. There are people that are saying, well, if they're 2-4, then they're going to make a coaching change. They've got the guy nationally. You're kind of hearing that, and we all know that let's face it, Sam is on the hot seat. But I think over there, which is all I can tell you, is what it feels like coming from what we used to call fall camp and still do, I guess, Phil, it's summer camp. Let's face it, it's summer camp.
Right.
I think they're looking for a lot more than what the prognostic. And Sam said, yeah, we'll use this pick 14th in the SEC. I mean, he indicated they're going to use that for motivation.
Yeah, I think they're also putting a lot on Taylen Green's leadership, specifically the leadership. You know, I know that the physical aspects are there, got great arm strength. I'm sure he's improved in some aspects working with Coach Petrino over the last few months. But that's another thing that it's not even something that I inferred from Coach Pittman. He's just flat out said, you know, some of it was important about who isn't on the team anymore. You know, that's a matter of who your leaders were last year.
Yeah, and I think, you know, to a degree, KJ might get something of a bad rap. I mean, he was a pretty good leader when they were going 9-4, and he was running for 100 yards in the third quarter against Penn State, you know, and I could see him interact with guys before that game down there at the bowl. But last year it all changed. A lot of people talk about NIL, what some guys had and some guys didn't have. In fact, Sam said yesterday he could have handled NIL better. And he also said, I've changed. I'm trying not to be as much of a dictatorship type coach, or, you know, words to that effect. So, you know, you learn from from what's gone on before. And but yeah, I mean, right now it feels like Taylen Green is really a good leader.
Hey, Grant, we got the U.S. men's basketball team plays today, South Sudan. I'm pretty sure that they'll be fine. I know the warm-up game was a little shaky, but I think they'll be fine. The question is, do you see anybody in this women's or men's basketball pool? Do either one of these teams get beat? I got both of them going undefeated the whole tournament.
I think they should win. Diana Taurasi is going to win again at age 42, I think. And, I mean, the U.S. team, Matt, has guys sitting on the bench.
Tatum didn't get on the bench, right?
Tatum, yeah. And another guy, I think, didn't play yesterday. So I think LeBron looks coltish. He really, you can tell he's inspired. They might get a scare somewhere along the line. I'm not sure it'll be today, but yeah, I think both of them should win.
Didn't they almost lose to South Sudan?
It was a friendly, and
Yeah.
so, you know, and a lot of people talk about the other teams. I think it's good for USA when you play a team like that, and you kind of figure out, well, what do they like to do? Who are their players? Where do they like the ball? I look for USA to totally. I mean, I think they'll win this one by double digits.
Lights are a little brighter today.
We haven't even got to track and field yet. To me, that's the essence of the Olympics. All this other stuff is just window dressing. You know, let's get to the track and field part.
Well, starts on Friday. Appreciate you,
Yeah.
Grant. We'll leave it there. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thanks, Grant.
To tell you, when I think of Olympics now, too, and I don't know the last time that they've had this event, but this also kind of gets to the heart of it, just simply power versus power. There used to be a tug-of-war competition. When's the last Olympic tug-of-war? Now, when was the last time anybody actually paid to watch tug-of-war? Is there a professional league? We have slap fighting. That's a thing. Can we have that in the Olympics at some point?
It seems like, you remember watching The Strongman? Seems like maybe they did some tug of war in that.
Ninja Warrior, American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah. You could get a little, when you get to football team, you get a little offense and defensive lineman, getting a little tug of war out there at camp, or in spring. You probably don't want to do that in summer/fall camp.
Yeah, rope burns, not a good thing. Definitely not a good thing. React if you want, 877-377-6963. Halftime is back right after this.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free. with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey and Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey and Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit KevinHickeyLaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey and Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Missing or broken teeth? Sharp Smiles wants you to start chewing again with dental implants. Scared of the dentist? Sharp Smiles will help you overcome your fear. Big dental problems? Sharp Smiles Modern Dentistry and Implants is your answer to your dental needs and services, where your smile is top priority. Get the smile you have always wanted from the friendly faces at Sharp Smiles, 2600 Market Trace, Suite B, off Jenny Lind across from Harps. For more information, visit the website at sharpsmilesdds.com or call 648-9988.
It's Wrangler season out there. T-shirt days, denim jacket nights. A pair of broken-in jeans you could live in. Open roads, endless horizons, no destinations. This is when adventure starts calling. And you need to be ready in jeans that are made for the unpredictable journey that we call life. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Warning, warning, attention all homeowners.
Hi, this is Justin at West Termite Pest and Lawn. It's definitely bug season, and we are priced to earn your business. Licensed in Arkansas and Oklahoma. Call today for a free evaluation, 479-782-7291. West Termite Pest and Lawn, protecting your home, health, and peace of mind.
All services performed with children and pets in mind.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Time is hollow. Time is all we got. Time ain't something you can borrow, like some kids singing dimes on the clock. So when you wake up this morning and you splash on them clothes, you look to your lover and you be sure that you let them know. I don't wanna be the last man standing no more. I wanna flow down the river with the big bear named on. I wanna drink moonshine, I wanna dance in the moonlight. I wanna do good things that make me feel alright.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Certainly the plan. It was that way from when we went into the portal. Bobby obviously likes to throw a lot of play action. Well, it's not any good if you can't threaten them with the run game. I like all the schematics that we're doing up front with our line, doing a lot of different other than just running full zone type schemes. We're doing a lot of different pin and kick out, pin and pulls. And off of that, if we can run the football, which we felt like we had a good spring of physicality on both sides of the ball, then I think we can do the play action as well. So we want to get back to that physical football.
I don't remember watching play action once last year. Well, it was tough to be able to do that because nobody ever believed you were really going to try to run the ball because you just simply could not do it. So there's one difference in the offense you're going to be running. And, Matt, I also wonder if some of this complexity up at the line of scrimmage has something to do with experience up at offensive lines. You had a couple of guys last year, Bo Limmer, Brady Latham, that were experienced, but your tackles were not. They're experienced now. These are guys, Carmona, Blackstock, that have played some football, more than the kids who were at those positions last year. So the experience on the offensive line, I think, has got to pay some dividends too. And I'm excited to watch Green, fake a handoff to Jaquindon Jackson and look deep for Andrew Armstrong. I don't remember seeing it last year.
Yeah, it was very pedestrian on offense last year. I think the footwork, I think getting lost with your eyes, you'd see two people going for the same man sometimes, not sliding thing or handing things off, so to speak. And then the run blocking, when you combo and when you power, sometimes you might have three hands on one guy one time, and then you're pushing him up and he's going up to the next level. You didn't see a lot of that either. I'm with you, Phil. I'm excited. Just the wizard that Bobby Petrino is, and then it's like, well, do we have any talent? Yeah, okay, we got a quarterback that's pretty good. You know what? I know Armstrong's pretty good. Jaquindon Jackson's proven it before, and I think that's what your point is. We have some linemen that have played before. They've proven that they could do it. They've been in a college offseason, and I necessarily don't think that the two tackles or the guys that transferred out, the linemen last year were just awful. I just think they maybe were in just a year too soon. I think they needed another offseason. They needed a little more practice. It's just the SEC's the big time, man. It's the SEC in the NFL. Like that's the level that it goes. And they just weren't ready. And it's if you got to be ready, you got to be a man. Phil, 100%, you got to be a man to play offensive line in the SEC. That's just the truth of it.
Just a tackle alone, you've replaced guys who were either redshirt freshmen or I think sophomore in one case, with guys who are either a senior or a redshirt junior. So either second year, last year at those two positions, right tackle, left tackle, or now to this year where, Tykees Crawford, I think, is in his fifth year. I know they talked yesterday about moving Crawford maybe to the inside at guard, so he's got a chance to compete for a starting role. And I wonder, what side would he be looking at? I think they've got Braun to the right, and then Patrick Kudus on left guard. Blackstock, he's in his fourth year. Carmona's in his fourth year. So guys that have been around a little bit. And here's Sam Pittman. Go ahead. Yes, Matt. Yeah.
I was going to say it sounded like that Crawford, is that the guy you're talking about, that as far as which sounds like he might be our utility guy that might be if something happens, because you're going to have injuries. He can play guard and tackle. If something happens, you got to move people around.
Yeah. Keyshawn Blackstock, he's come in from, it was Michigan State. But was he only played like 3 or 4 games. I think he got into the portal really early because of the firing of Mel Tucker.
We never heard anything else about that. That was that
had kind of gone away.
Really, so is the Wolverines, but John Harbaugh was able to go get another job. Mel Tucker might not coach again.
Well, and he's also out the buyout as well, which was a massive buyout. So, I do wonder what it is he's doing this year, or how much college football he'd be watching. Here's Sam Pittman on the offensive line.
I think we have the guys in the right spot. I think we have to create a battle with Tykees Crawford. We are going to move him into right guard, and he's played a lot of ball there, but we're going to move him in to see if he could potentially start for us there. Now, there's nothing against Braun. We like Braun and all that, but we have to give kids opportunities to start. So if you think about it, you're going, what are you going to do with Joe Moore? you know. So Joe Morris played a lot of ball. So what are you very, very strong kid, very, very smart. What are you going to do with him? So our choice was we could either put him at right guard and keep Tyke East out there where he is, or we can move Tyke East and move Joe in it. Now, we may move that combination at some point, but that's today. That's how we think we could have our best depth.
I think there's a heck of a lot more depth, at least in terms of players that are competing for playing time than you had last year. This is a huge year for Tykees Crawford. Remember, he came in, he was a top-rated recruit that Arkansas lost. He flipped, and I think it was grades. I had trouble getting into school, so he goes to Charlotte and then transfers to Arkansas. And this guy was a 5-star player. It hasn't worked out for him yet. He's had a couple of chances. I think there might have been an injury thrown in there as well near the bowl game a couple of years ago. But this is a big year for him. It's the last chance. I mean, he's a redshirt senior. This is the last chance for Tykees Crawford to make some sort of a dent at Arkansas and see what he can get going in the future. So, yep, you got I think offensive line, it feels like it'll be a strength right now. And I'm also basing part of that on what Clay Henry has told us from watching spring practice and paying attention to that. He always said the first thing he's looking at are the tackles. He warned us last year. He's not warning us now. He thinks it'll be a strength, and if you got 2 tackles that can play in the SEC that have speed, the strength that you need there, you can hold the line for a while.
Well, it's a good thing when you go all offseason and you don't really have any off-the-field problems with this team. I think that shows you a little bit of attention to detail and doing things the right way. Early on, it'll be about can you protect the ball and can you not turn the ball over. That'll be, you don't want to beat yourself. These first 3 games, these first couple games, you're going to improve the most. But you saw Oklahoma State do that last year. That they beat themselves early. So you don't want to beat yourselves early on, and you want to have attention to detail. And after watching these guys are not hearing anything about any off-season problems, off-the-field problems with this team, I mean, you got to tip your hat and to Coach Pittman. That's getting the right type of guy up there on the hill.
I guess ironically, the biggest offseason thing was KJ Jefferson coming back from Orlando to go.
Oh,
to court.
yeah.
Remember that?
That was kind of just amazing. Yeah, that's right.
It's a pretty quiet offseason comparatively to some other college football teams.
That's what I'm saying.
In this very league,
it's something that should be recognized. And Coach Pittman, that's a good group of guys that are doing things the right way. And so that's you got to tip your hat to them.
Thanks to Crabtree RV Center, serving the River Valley in Northwest Arkansas for over 70 years. Right there in Alma beside the Cracker Barrel where I-40 and I-49 come together. They're going to help you find the absolute perfect RV for your family's adventures over the next few years. You can give them a visit personally or just go online to crabtreerv.com. Over 70 years and 4 generations, let Crabtree RV get your fun started in the right directions right now. We'll be back and wrap up our first hour of halftime after this.
This is halftime.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Have you tried the TGI Friday weekday deals? On Monday, they have 50-cent wings, traditional or boneless, 10-piece minimum. Tuesday, cheeseburgers and fries with a fountain drink for $10. On Wednesday, Cajun shrimp and chicken pasta for only $12. On Thursday, enjoy a half a rack of ribs for only $12. Stop by and check out the weekday deals at TGI Fridays, I-540 at Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. In here, it's always Friday.
Summer camp, vacation, travel baseball, repeat. Family reunion, lake time, I'm beat. A parent in the summertime is a glorified chauffeur, but if you find yourself in a fender bender, you'll need a good lawyer. I'm Jackie Mock. With 12 years of experience in insurance and car wreck cases, I can help get you back on the road for more summer fun. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Now we will share a lifetime of the fondest memories.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a long Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Let's see. Leaky faucet Tuesday. Water flood in the yard. Better put that down for the middle of the month when the bills aren't due.
Honey, what are you doing?
Planning our plumbing problems, of course.
You can't plan our plumbing problems, but you should plan our plumber.
What do you mean?
Like all important contacts, I keep Westark Plumbing in my phone. They're always there when we need them, and they don't overcharge since they know we don't plan our plumbing problems. Here, honey, here's their number.
646-5151. Thanks, babe.
Westark Plumbing. We keep you flowing.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Z Road, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
It's Wrangler season out there. T-shirt days, denim jacket nights. A pair of broken-in jeans you could live in. Open roads, endless horizons, no destinations. This is when adventure starts calling. And you need to be ready in jeans that are made for the unpredictable journey that we call life. Wrangler, for the ride of life. Shop our newest styles today at Wrangler.com.
Before you buy that next car or truck, stop by Broadway Motors in Van Buren. The best of the best for 2 straight years. Michael and his team offer the best prices on the best quality pre-owned vehicles in the River Valley. They invite you to stop by and check it out for yourself. Or if you prefer to check out their inventory online or even do your financing online. Michael has built his reputation as a husband, father, and owner-operator since 2006. Broadway Motors, 806 Broadway in Van Buren, or online at BroadwayMotorsAR.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
She leads a lonely life. She leads a lonely life. When she woke up late in the morning light, and the day had just begun, she opened up her eyes and thought, oh, what a morning. It's not a day for what? It's a day for catching time. Just lying on the beach and having fun. She's going to get her all that she wants. Here's another baby. She's gone tomorrow, boy. All that she wants. Here's another baby.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Here's a sport I can understand, Matt. It's volleyball. It's a pretty easy sport to be able to understand just watching it. You don't have to be a huge fan. You don't have to be a former player. You don't have to live in a certain part of the world to have an understanding of what volleyball is all about. USA versus Serbia right now. I think it looks like it's still the first set. And, yeah, volleyball's easy to remember how you play it. Heck, I had to learn a couple years ago because Arkansas had me do the broadcast on one of the telecasts for volleyball. And so I had a little bit of a crash course. It's when I learned what a libero is. That was the one thing I didn't really know. I probably don't know all the terminology but I do know the libero is the defensive specialist that cannot hit the ball over the net.
I thought that was John Voight's car in Seinfeld.
It's that too. Yeah.
Volleyball will make you look, and I don't care how athletic you are, Phil. You go out and play volleyball, there will be at least twice you look unathletic. Something you hit the ball and it just goes straight to you're like, oh, it's volleyball's fun, man. It's water volleyball might even be cooler than pickleball. It's something to do, kind of keeps you athletic, keep you moving around.
You cool off instead of staying hot, because that's what pickleball is. I mean, you're on a court that's just absolutely the scorching. It feels a little bit different in a pool, doesn't it?
Pickleball seems like you should play it if you're over 50. It's helping your joints and all that stuff. I get it's kind of like a racquetball type thing, but it's just so you don't have to move as much.
You realize, like with your John Voight joke, and I got it, and most of our listeners probably did too. I doubt many of the Olympic athletes get that. I don't think they're at an age. A lot of these kids were born after the finale. Now it's available for them on Netflix. Maybe they're watching what their parents, say, hey, you might want to watch this. My daughter and son get a few Seinfeld jokes, but this is like a post-Seinfeld joke Olympics. There's few of them, like the 61-year-old lady from China competing in Luxembourg. Maybe she knows some of these jokes.
She's more into I Love Lucy. Yeah, she might be into something a little bit before that time. Yeah.
Joey tells me it's football time. Yeah, that's right. You got the Hall of Fame game tomorrow. That's what the season really is here, because that's the first football game where they're going to be keeping score, legitimate score, and then you get your inductees going. 7 inductees going into the Pro Football Hall of Fame this weekend. Guess we can touch on that in a little bit. Yeah. You're right, Joey. It is football time, and it starts August 1st. So our 1 month without any of the games that our teams really play. 877-377-6963 for calls and texts as we get into our second hour. No more guests, just you and us, so be a part of it, and halftime will be right back.
Valley Family Dental, formerly known as Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nuys work to give all of their patients a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5501 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farm. Now offering same-day crowns. 226-3500 for an appointment, or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at InStock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or a do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by InStock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. InStock Parts.
Precision Garage Door features the finest quality materials, installation, and service for all your garage door needs, including garage door repair and new garage doors and openers. Fully licensed and insured with the largest showroom in Northwest Arkansas at 1907 Town West Drive in Rogers and in Fort Smith at 416 North 10th Street. Call Precision Garage Door today at 844-PDS-DOOR or check them out online at PrecisionDoorNWA.com. Financing is available. Precision Garage Door, voted best garage door company of Northwest Arkansas and the River Valley.
This summer at Hardee's, the BLT gets an upgrade with the new Frisco BLT Angus Burger and Frisco BLT hand-breaded chicken sandwich. The classic flavors of bacon, lettuce, and tomato, atop a famous charbroiled burger or signature hand-breaded chicken sandwich, all between 2 thick slices of toasted sourdough. Only for a limited time at Hardee's. Goodness in the making. Order ahead on the Hardee's app. Participation may vary. Exclusion supplied by time of day.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be in the middle to upper 90s. We will see mainly clear skies overnight, low near 75. Sunshine upper 90s on Thursday, and then Friday more of the same with plenty of blue sky and sunshine, a high upper 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 29 days. Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com. We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. Smith, I'm all right. What can't they dominate? And we not doing it. We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field. Yeah. People said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
One Razorback. And vintage Matt Jones. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones. Welcome back into hour number 2, halftime, 1 minute after noon on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Christian Johnston, the C Unit movie Burger in the studios today. I guess you're going to be C Burger tomorrow. Are you going over to the Hardee's location tomorrow, C Unit, for the football trip of a lifetime?
Yes, I'm looking forward to that Hardee's burger. Big time.
Good, yeah.
So you're going tomorrow, and he's going to be C Branson come Friday.
What?
Yeah.
How can you? Are you going on a trip? How are you going to be able to do your halftime homework on a trip?
I'll be back on Sunday, or I could even do it at night there.
Sounds like cramming Cliff's Notes for whatever it is you get assigned. They're
I'm
going
not
to be at
taking
the
my
Rogers Avenue location, Hardee's tomorrow in Fort Smith for the 19th annual football trip of a lifetime. And you eat the burger, but you eat it slowly. Just like you're having lunch, not like you're competing.
Yeah, I just get a regular old meal. I don't really want to put myself through that.
C champion, let's go, man. Let's get up there and let's win this thing.
I could probably do it, but I know it would not be pleasant.
But he doesn't need the tickets to the football game. He's a member of the media. He can apply for a press credential for the Cowboys and Eagles on November the 10th.
That's true. What was the winning time of last year? Because I know this qualifying. It's like pool play. You got to do it under 90 seconds, I believe. Is that what to qualify? But
can we call these heats? These are heats.
It's 150 now.
Oh, 150. So they're that's almost 2 minutes. No, that's over 2 minutes. 2.5 minutes.
2.5 minutes to finish it, man. And it takes me 2.5 minutes to just finish one bite.
To walk back up there and say I forgot to get some mustard, and then yeah.
Well, he'll be out there tomorrow, and then we'll have some more qualifying round. But heats, you got to call these heats. It's Olympic time. These qualifying round, they're really heats. We'll have more of those next week, and we'll report back to you. 19th annual football trip of a lifetime, brought to you by Hardee's, ESPN Arkansas, and hitthatline.com. Matt, the NFL may be saying goodbye to the chain gang. Now they said Sony was introduced as the NFL's official technology partner today. And they expand sports technology through Hawkeye Innovations, which is the same technology that is used in tennis to decide what is in and what is out. You've seen it before. It's basically like a cartoon, like an animated ball, and it'll leave what looks like a shadow wherever the thing landed, according to Hawkeye, and they go exactly by that. This will be utilized for some preseason games this year, and it won't be ready for full implementation until next year. So this could be the last season, Matt, where you get the old dudes and the orange sticks and the chains. And it's one of the traditions of football that goes back over a century.
Yeah, he's going to be as strong as Sylvester Stallone and over the top. So it's going to be great technology. And I've wondered, tennis, they do it right. I think you see some of it in volleyball. But even you might have the chain gang out there but they could be using, so it's like a backup or so. The worst is when the people holding the chain and the play's coming this way and they still hold it, and then you hit the thing. You're supposed to let that thing go. But some people just, what did they look, and how talented are you to hold the chain? It's like you got to see what type of person you're working with. But that's the worst. It's like when they're coming your way, let that thing go. You hit that thing on the side of your leg, man, that'll keep you out for a little bit.
With the speed of the sport and the violence of it, I'd be for fewer people on the sideline if at all possible. Chain gang looks like they might be on their way out. That just means a few guys will be out, part-time jobs. I don't know if they'll be able to utilize the Hawkeye technology. And well done, by the way, with the over-the-top reference. But it could also be Alan Alda's from MASH. It could be a MASH character, too. Both of these can work. Just whatever you do. If you're an official on the sideline on the chain gang, you are not allowed to put your hat backwards. You can't be Sylvester Stallone and
That's
Hawkeye.
Right.
You can't do it.
You got to conform to what we're doing. You got to do things the right way. But I still think it'll be out there, but you have it to going for that first down, because if it gets
you do want to see what it is you're going for.
You got to at least have the marker where the ball is, so everybody can. You got to have somebody still got, but maybe not the 1st and 10 chain. So you just have the one guy placing where it is. But I think they'll still have it for a reference point. But we're so far. When you start thinking about commercials and you start thinking about time and you're doing all these things, and a lot of these, like the golf and everybody, they're doing these play on through where they do a commercial and they keep it up there on the side. But honestly, late in the game, these 3rd and 1, 4th and 1s, you got to be able just to tell if it's a first down, and you don't have to hey, everybody back up out of the way. Let's take 2 minutes to run this out here, straighten it out. Let's see. Oh, you missed it by a nose. It's like the technology should help speed the game up is what I'm saying.
Well, the people who control the technology, I'm sure, know what they're doing here. But there is a difference between a ball that's not being held by somebody in tennis and where it lands, and someone holding a football and where that football is located when any part of the body hits the ground that's not the hand or the feet. Like that makes it a lot different, and maybe a little bit more difficult to implement than it is implemented in tennis. And if they do get to the point where you use this, it's goal line too. It's scoring situations as well, right?
Well,
why not do it as well for, I guess, if you're doing 2 toes down, 2 feet down in the back of the end zone, video camera review should show you this. But as far as like a scrum at the goal line, whether somebody got in or not, I think that's the way you can handle that too.
I think you're still going to have the sideline officials watching and looking, see where that goes. They're still going to go up and mark the ball, and then that's when it would be implemented. After the officials mark the ball, then you tell where the chip is. I don't think it's actually while they're moving and stuff. I think it's when you're still going to have the officials going up there and spot, oh, he was down here, forward progress here. Then when they set the ball down, I think that's when the technology would be.
You know how baseball hitters, when they get out of the box after a strike that they don't think is a strike, they'll look back at the umpire. Are you sure about that? Where was that? Anybody ever tell the officials that are coming to put the foot down where the ball's located? Do you ever look at them and say, you sure about that?
Well, they do it.
Maybe half a yard further up.
What was that play last year, Arkansas? I forget who we were playing, but we were at home, and you're running the ball, and it looked like a first, and they do it on the whole other sideline. Like it was only on. It's not that sideline where the ball was out. They're looking across the field, which that was kind of. I was like, let's go right where he went out. That's the best reference point.
Well, let's go to some tuna technology. Charlie's here with us today, 877-377-6963. Tuna's got his phone to his ear, so that's tuna technology. What's up, Charlie? How are you?
I'm great, guys. Phil, this tuna technology is growing every day. I mean, I'm, 1992, kind of when computers started, but I've come a long way. So, I will say this. I was thinking, so how long, Phil, before we have AI referees? So I won't be able to see. You mean I won't get to see before long the referees? You know how they do, Matt. They put those real small shirts on, And I've been doing all these workouts now. The tuna's been eating a lot of tuna. I got my bis and my tris looking right, and I'm trying to show this off. So how long before we just have AI referees? When do you think that's going to...
Charlie, I mean, I think you might be joking a little bit, but I think that's a legitimate question. I mean, we're at a point now where have you seen the commercial, a Google commercial, where a father wants his daughter wants to write a fan letter to one of the Olympic athletes, and they have AI help out with it. I really couldn't imagine a worse way to to try to put your thoughts onto paper than to have AI do it for you. That would be a total dumbing down of the human race. I understand the purposes for it in some cases, and I do want. I mean, if you're talking about, computer-operated strike zones, aiding umpires in baseball, that's a little bit of the same thing. I wouldn't put it past at some point. I don't know how it gets implemented. I don't know how it happens, but that's the direction that the world is going. So I think that might be the direction football goes at some point.
Yeah, man, and no more index cards. Like that time that guy, I think it was, I think he's like a rules analyst now on CBS. He had to get down there with the index card, and if we're not going to have the chain game, I guess. So anyway, but I do agree, Matt. At least we're speeding the game up, and it happens in basketball too. Any way we can do that, keep these reviews from taking forever. It's ridiculous because it messes the flow of the game up. But also, so see, what are you competing for now? What are you going up to Brazil for? I didn't hear that part.
What am I? What?
It's the Hearty Burger Challenge
yeah.
where you 150 seconds to eat is it a quarter pound or a third pound?
It's a monster burger.
It's a monster.
It's not as big as you would think, but it's pretty big. It's got a lot on it, bacon, all that good stuff. Yeah.
You got to work on your salesmanship, C-Unit. You're supposed to sound drooling while you're describing this burger, okay?
Man, I just eat, and that's all I do.
This is the Charlie interviews a member of the radio show's portion of the phone call. Appreciate you, Charlie. Good to hear from you today. 877-377-6963. Greg is next. He's in Farmington. Good afternoon, Greg. How are you?
Hey, guys. Phil, hope you get feeling better soon, my brother. Hey, you guys are... What's that?
I said appreciate that. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, you guys were talking about the Olympics earlier. I was at... yesterday and day before yesterday, I was actually watching some of the canoe slalom that's going to be taking place in Oklahoma City.
I watched it too last night. That's fun to watch.
Yeah, it was very interesting, and I was reading. I was doing some research stuff. The reason they're moving softball to Oklahoma City is because there are no softball facilities in L.A. or on the West Coast that holds more than 2,000 people.
Right. Yeah, I know UCLA and USC will have softball stadiums, but they're not going to be that size. If you're holding a baseball tournament, well, you do it at Dodger Stadium. That's what they did the last time that the LA hosted the Olympics. But you got to have the right amount of people to be able to fit in there, and the number one softball stadium in the world is in Oklahoma City. Makes sense. Hey, and if they're holding the surfing competition 10,000 miles away from Paris, I think honestly it'd be all right if we held canoe slalom and softball on the moon.
Yeah, really. But but like I say, that canoe slalom stuff was fun to watch, and I'm actually looking forward to trying to get over and maybe watch some in 4 years.
I agree. I think it'd be a lot of fun to watch. It's like the All-Star game being in Dallas, or in Arlington, or the World Cup being in Arlington or Kansas City. Take advantage of those opportunities with something that's within driving distance, and it only takes you half a day to get there. I'd be up for it as well. Greg, good to hear from you. Thank you very much. Matt, we've talked about going, in a couple of summers, either to Arrowhead or to AT&T. I'd love to get my eyes on the World Cup in person. I've never seen the Olympics in person. It's going to be in Salt Lake again, 2034, but I don't want to wait 10 more years. What do you say? 4 years? While C-Unit is going to work on getting himself a credential for the Cowboys-Eagles game, we can work for 4 years from now to get ourselves credentials for the softball tournament in Oklahoma City.
I'm in. World Cup when it gets here, and then the Olympics. I'm in.
We're all in. Are you in? 877-377-6963. Stay with Halftime. We'll be back in just a moment.
This is Halftime. ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Summer is here and adventure is calling. Visit Southern Tire Mart for a new set of Yokohama
trying
tires
to
to
be-
get your
I don't know,
vehicle
trying to
ready
be-
for summer travels. Southern Tire Mart is your trusted partner for top quality tires, professional services, and competitive pricing. Visit us in Fort Smith at 9700 Highway 271 and let Southern Tire Mart ensure your vehicle is ready for the open road. Southern Tire Mart is a proud dealer of Yokohama tires. We keep America rolling.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sports book in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
What's new at Wheeler Power Sports? Short answer, a lot. All new Kawasaki Ninja 500, Z500, Eliminators, and Mule Pro Diesels. New Kawasaki Ridge side-by-side is now arriving. New Polaris Expeditions and Ranger XD 1500s. New Suzuki GSX 8R. New 2024 model Polaris Slingshots, including the Roush Edition, are now in stock. Check us out online at WheelerPowersports.com or stop by and see us at downtown Fort Smith at 901 North 11th Street. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
It seems like everything is more expensive this year, but replacing your AC doesn't have to be. If you need to replace your AC this summer, before you commit, price check with Paschal. You can save money and use the professionals to replace your system. Enjoy the peace of mind knowing you chose the best option for your home. Visit GoPaschal.com and with just a few clicks, see how much you can save with the Paschal price check. Paschal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
It's the Segway Full Send Summer Savings Event going on now at Adventure, Oklahoma at Auto Finders, Highway 64 in Roland. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $3,500 off select UTV models in stock. Fear no plates with high-tech power sports from Segway. Adventure, Oklahoma at Auto Finders. Financing available with approved credit. It's the Full Send Summer Savings Event with Segway at Adventure, Oklahoma at Auto Finders, Highway 64 Roland. See AutoFindersOK.com.
Do you want to see the Dallas Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas on November 10th? Can you eat a Monster Burger in 150 seconds to qualify for the football trip of a lifetime? It's the 19th annual football trip of a lifetime brought to you by Hardee's, ESPN Arkansas, and hitthatline.com. Go to hitthatline.com for more details and let's secure your seat at the table.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I've had good times with some bad guys. I've told whole lies with a half smile. Held your bare bones with my clothes on. I've thrown rocks, then hit both my arms. I don't know what good it serves. when my person turned.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Man, I feel about as lucid as I think I'm going to feel all day long right here. Caught COVID for the second time. It's been 2 years. And, man, I got a voice. Like, I should at least be thankful for that. I can speak, but I do feel it when I'm kind of walking around a little bit. Don't have that much of an appetite. I can taste. I could taste my coffee this morning. I can taste the dried apricots I'm eating during the commercial breaks. Not like it has all that much taste, but I don't know. Maybe once we get off the show, Matt, then it'll be the long slide towards feeling like crap once again.
Well, you'll be able to relax. Do you ever eat figs with your apricots? You get some figs as well? Or?
I eat figs with my Newtons. That's about it.
There we go.
It's about the same thing. You mean whole figs, not all of them is ground up with sugar and everything.
They're almost like a prune, almost like, but they're just a little bit. They taste a little bit sweeter to me. Yeah,
it's in the dried category.
Yeah, it's good. I like them.
The first time I had COVID was that would have been, I think it was the week of the Missouri State football game 2 years ago when Petrino brought his team in, and I had to host the pregame show remotely from my home studio. Wasn't the easiest thing in the world. You know it's impossible to do? It's the other thing I do during the football games is help Zim spot for Chuck. I'm usually on who's made the tackle, who's made the interception, the tip pass, all that kind of stuff. You can't do that if you're not there. Doesn't help, guessing on who might have made the tackle. And the television broadcast is always a little bit behind the real game itself, so felt a little bit useless that day. But good thing I got it now because get the antibodies up. Won't have to worry about this for a while. JT. Remember JT in Hot Springs? He comes through Central Arkansas quite a bit in Little Rock and stopped over at the house. What was that, like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? Yesterday he texted asking, it's so hot outside. He'd love to come over for a glass of water or just to cool off. He decided not to. Now he's really happy he decided not to.
I'm telling you, maybe you're asymptomatic, though, as far as some other people are. Maybe you're not contagious. I don't know, but it's you look good, man. It's just a little. They might call so many things COVID now. Just getting a little 24-hour bug. I bet. Get you some fluids in you. Eat right, drink right. Get you some rest. You'll be good tomorrow.
Yeah, I showered today. I smell good. Brushed my teeth even. Trying to act like a regular day.
Showers is always a good thing. Always a good thing.
That's an important thing to do. Now, a lot of times I'll just host the show solo, just me. I don't have to impress anybody in that case. Today I felt like I actually needed a moment to feel good. Shower felt right.
It's like Michael Shea in Saturday Night Live. He wears the same suit and tie, but then he's got #1 basketball shorts on underneath.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, okay.
Robert texted in. He said he's had COVID 9 times. My gosh. I don't know if there's any records being kept. But that sounds like that could be near the top of the list. Wes thinks I got it in New York. I was in New York last week. Maybe so. I don't know. Might have been on the way back on an airplane. Who knows? Being all around those pits. But my kid who was with me, he tested negative.
Are you the type?
He feels fine today.
Are you the type of person that if you're on an airplane and you hear somebody 3 seats over sneeze a couple times or cough, you're like, uh-oh, I got it now. I'm sick. Because it's recycled air. You're like, yeah.
Well, at that point, I take a deep breath in and hold it in for 30 seconds.
I'm done. Yeah, I'm done breathing for a while.
I'm going to suck that stuff out so that nobody else on the airplane gets it. I'm going to be everybody's hero on the airplane that day. That's exactly right. Who was it? Joey mentioned that we've got the Hall of Fame game tomorrow, Houston and Chicago. You're not going to see, this isn't C.J. Stroud versus Caleb Williams. Heck, I don't know how much you'll see the second stringers with more than a month before the actual games that count beginning. And then it's the only game this weekend. And then you get 3 weeks. They cut 1 or 2 preseason games in order to, latch on a 17th regular season game and an extra layer of playoffs. So it used to be 4, right? I think there's only, forget if there's 2 or 3 preseason games now.
There was 4, and then if you played in the Hall of Fame game, maybe you could get 5 in. But yeah, I think they
Did you get paid for the preseason games?
It's all yeah, you get paid, but it's not it's you get your roster bonus when you make the final cuts. That's when the pay changes. But yeah, you're like an hourly employee for camp, and everybody's getting paid, and you're getting some what's it called when they give per diem? You know, they're doing some of that. But yeah, I just looked over, Phil. I know you were talking a little bit about the Hall of Fame game. Julius Peppers, he might be the best one. You know, there's 7 of them going in, and they're all Hall of Famers. Dwight Freeney, man, we had to play against him when he was with the Colts. You want to talk about a stud? I
thought Peppers was a little. Now, it's not to take anything away from Dwight Freeney, but Peppers was a little bit more of a complete lineman, right?
I'm with you. I think Julius Peppers, if I was choosing, I would choose him. But Dwight Freeney could get to the passer, and they had another guy too. It's slipping my name. I think he went to Syracuse, but he was on the other side, and the Colts would get a lead. That's the thing. The Colts would get a lead, and then so you got to pass. Man, Dwight Freeney coming off the edge, it took 2 to stop him. He was one of the best at rushing the passers. And then another guy I got to play a lot against, Andre Johnson, same division. That's 2 guys that I played a lot of football against. And Andre Johnson, man, he absolute just freak. I mean, he was a stud. You look back at to Andre Johnson and the quarterbacks he had, or so to speak, didn't have. I don't ever think he was with a legitimate, all-pro, Pro Bowler type quarterback, and he was still a stud.
Heavy on the defense for the Enshrinees this year. You had Freeney, Randy Gradishar, who played linebacker for the Orange Crush Denver Broncos. There's Steve McMichael from the 85 Bears right there in the defensive line. I'd be interested to see what he's able to do, because
when he had WCW guy, didn't he do some WCW stuff in the 90s?
I think he did. Well, I think he and Refrigerator Perry and maybe Jimbo Covert were in, I think this was WrestleMania 2, the one that they did at the Lions old stadium, the Silverdome, the Pontiac Silverdome. I think they had a big battle royale in which McMichael was part of it. But he suffered from ALS for a long time. I can't even imagine he's able to get to
Robert Mathis was the other DN that was on the other side of Dwight Freeney. Yeah.
So then there's Peppers and Patrick Willis. There's really there's just I think one player who was a full-time offensive player. There's Devin Hester, but he's in for special teams, for kick returning. Andre Johnson is the only Enshrinee who played specifically and strictly offense.
Yeah, I bet you Devin Hester didn't have 200 receptions in his career. I'd have to go back and look, but I don't know that he had over. I mean, he was. But if you want to talk about the best, my eyes, Deion Sanders, as far as returning punts and kicks, you put him up there, no question about it. If I got first pick, I'm taking Devin Hester as my kick and punt returner. I think he's the best to ever do it.
Hey, by the way, I saw, speaking of kick returners, Isaiah Satania has been named to the Jet Award preseason watch list. This is in honor of Johnny the Jet Rodgers, legendary college football Hall of Famer. It's for the most outstanding return specialist in college football. And Joe Adams won the first award in 2011, so you got a little history with that from Arkansas. Here's who's eligible next year, first-timers. This is quite a list. Earl Thomas, Adam Vinatieri, Joe Staley, Marshawn Lynch, Eli Manning, Clay Matthews, Terrell Suggs, Vernon Davis. It's just a really long list here. Matt Bryan. I don't know how many kickers get in, but that's a pretty good list of first time eligible players to try to get in, and everybody will debate Manning.
That's true. 2 Super Bowls. Did he ever win an NFL MVP? That's the thing about Aaron Rodgers to about Peyton Manning. He might have won 1 Super Bowl. He won 5 NFL MVPs. Aaron Rodgers has won 4. And I don't know that Eli Manning was ever considered the best quarterback, if it was even a top 3 quarterback in the league any year he ever played. I don't know. So does that mean he doesn't get in on his first time? Because I don't see any way Eli Manning's not a Hall of Famer. But maybe not a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Agreed. I think he'll get in. I mean, so he wasn't ever a regular season MVP, but he was a Super Bowl MVP twice. He didn't just win the game twice. He was the MVP in both of those games. I mean, that's got to have a little something to do with whether you get in.
All the 85 Bears are going to vote for him. I mean, all the 72 Dolphins. Yeah, all the 72 Dolphins are voting for him.
That's for sure. Yeah, that is absolutely for sure. 877-377-6963. Got Eduardo with us now. Hey, Eduardo, how are you?
Man, I'm doing good. I hope you get to feeling better.
Thank you, Eddie. Your phone call will definitely be the thing that gets me feeling a heck of a lot better. It'll just take another hour and a half.
Yes, sir. You know, the season, I got pumped over the weekend as I watched Coach T. Will. Man, I'd like to meet the man. The man is certainly like a bolt of electricity. Pumping the team up high. I mean, what did he have in his rap bars? He talk about embracing the hall. He talk about a 6'6" quarterback dropping dimes. I mean, it's just, he has a whistle in it. They hear the whistle, baby. And so I think that there are certain intangibles that exist within people, even individuals or just an individual or a team that you cannot measure. And I believe this team's got it, baby. And I believe that's going to equate to some wins this year in those close games. What do you think about that, Phil?
I think, first of all, I'm just continued to be very impressed, Eddie, that you ask questions and wait for the answer now. We've gone a long way from where this thing started 6 years ago. It's all about the close games because I don't think this team is gonna. I don't think they're gonna blow a lot of SEC teams out. I don't think they're gonna get blown off the field either. Now I didn't think that would happen either once you got into November. But in November, I think the emotions of what's happened for the last couple of months sometimes can take over, and I think that happened last year. I see this as a team that it'll all be about the close games. 1-5 in games decided by 7 points or less last year. And I think it's a lot better of a team in terms of just personnel and certainly who's calling the plays offensively. So I think a lot of it's going to have to do with coaching in some cases. I think part of that did have to do with coaching last year, the games within one score. But I'm getting fired up about it, Eddie. I know you are too, and I think fans are as well. I do think a lot of people are still going to wait until Oklahoma State before they decide whether or not they're buying in completely, because I think they'll feel optimistic from the things they're hearing right now, and maybe also hope just takes over when you're a fan and you want to feel good about your team. That second game, though, may decide for some people whether or not they're really all in for the remainder of the season. Stay with Halftime. We'll be back right after this.
Yo, don't be so cool, dude.
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line Now.
It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Temps are heating up, and so are the ticket deals this summer with Vivid Seats. Whether it's scoring tickets for a night out at the ballpark or witnessing the rising stars of women's basketball, Vivid Seats has you covered. With a robust rewards program and wide selection of tickets, Vivid Seats makes it easy to score great deals on great seats with a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you the peace of mind for the ultimate fan experience. Just visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
This is Halftime.
Hey, folks, here at Road Chevrolet 2800 on the highway with Grant Neal. Grant, let's talk about pre-owned vehicles.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and HitThatLine.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Colin Ray Drive in Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
I drink all the time. 'Cause I love us. That is a fact. Yes, I love us. That is fact.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Sam, SEC Media picked you guys 14th. Are you guys using that as a motivational thing?
I don't know. We haven't had our team meeting yet. We might. They picked a lot of people 14th. We might.
I think you can hear the wink that he gave the camera or to the writer answering that question yesterday. Picked 14th out of 16. I imagine these his players are well aware of this, even if they're not like reading the headlines and everything. You might take a look at the preseason poll just to have a sense of what the media thinks about your team this year. So I'm sure they've already spoken about it. And We'll start to hear from players today, so might get some answers from whomever it is that's put in front of the microphones later today. That's going to be an evening press conference with Sam Pittman and the players because a 5:05 practice means they're done 2 hours later, and then you'll hear him. And then tomorrow you get the tight ends and Coach Turner with the tight ends too.
So are they all under one roof? You know, after practice, they go treatment and you go eat, and you're kind of all under or do they have it? I wonder how different camp is now. Camp even in Cincinnati or Jacksonville, you all kind of got together and you were all under one roof for 21, 25 days, where you really all you see is your teammates and coaches. It's ridiculous.
Do you remember how many players were at camp in the NFL? Of course, you're cutting down to 53, but how many are starting?
Yeah, you get a couple different cuts. 53, then you get like an 8 to 12 man practice squad, and you got another quarterback spot. So there's 61-ish, 63-ish. I don't know, 25 extra players maybe. It's not as big as a college roster. It's not 105. It's and like I've said, my 4 years there in Jacksonville field, there was 2-3 open jobs when camp started. You know who, at that level, you pretty much know who your guys are when you're going into it. You'll have a couple battles, maybe a nickelback battle, who's going to be the special teams captain, who's going to be your, like little stuff you can do. But for the most part, you know who you are. Same thing at Arkansas field. If you don't know who your guys are right now, we're behind. You know, that's supposed to be settled in the spring and the summer. Your leaders, who your starters are. We pretty much should know who our starting unit is. Not saying there's not a couple jobs up for grabs, because there is, but there's not as many as you think. There's only a handful of them.
Sam Pittman even referred to that yesterday, just talking about, you ought to know that. This is really a little bit more about the idea of who are the 3s and the 4s, or who's after your second stringer, in some cases your second stringers. And a lot of times, like, we wonder about who's going to start at this position or that position. Like, you might have 2 or 3 outside at wide receiver. There's going to be 5 or 6 of them that really get mixed in with the offense, that are really involved. Running back, like, I don't think there's going to be a running back by committee, but I think there's going to be 3 guys that get the ball. I wouldn't say on a consistent basis, but I think there'll be 3 running backs that you'll be using quite a bit. I think Jackson probably leads the team in rushing this year, just from his experience, if he's able to stay healthy. But there's other guys I think they want to get the ball to, and I think it's the same at wide receiver.
Yeah, running backs, you got to first rule, you got to hold on to the ball. But to get playing time, man, running back's tough. Help picking up blitzes, help deciphering with the quarterback, knowing who you got to get if somebody's coming weak side or whatever your keys are. And they can change based on if you change the protection at the line. So playing a running back and knowing the playbook. It's tough. So sometimes it is by committee. Some players will do certain things really well, and then you start kind of mixing them more into the fold and finding out what they can do. It's what's true though, Phil. The first 10 days, the first week of camp, you're going to have a freshman, you're going to have a newcomer come in, and he's going to be good. You're like, we got to find a spot for him. That's the best part about camp, is like, you know who a lot of your starters are, but there's going to be a couple guys that are going to start making plays, showing up on film that we don't know about yet. That because we're not watching practice or whatever. But that's the cool part when you start saying, "Oh, we got to get 84 of the ball. We got to get so and so. We got to find a spot for him on defense." I think that happened with McAdoo a couple years ago. You saw a guy, he was making plays, and I know it happened with one of your favorites, Slash, Cordell Stewart. He got to Pittsburgh and was running. He was running receiver for the scout team, and the coaches are like, man, he's killing our D-backs. We got to find a way to put him on the field. That'll happen in camp. We just don't know who that is yet.
You're saying Pittman on his running backs.
If you look at our offense, we're trying to get back to that physicality and that size, and I think Jaquindon is perfect for what we're trying to do. And then if you look at him and Hill and Reed and Braylon, they're all a little bit different. And, of course, R-Dub. So I like where we're at there, but I think we just try to get bigger so we can run the football.
Bigger to run the football. And, you talk about a freshman that potentially could have some impact early. Braylon Russell is one of them from Parkview High School in Little Rock. 6'1", 253. We keep hearing he carries the weight really well, and he's got speed for that size and he can catch it out of the backfield. So I'm just looking at Russell, Rashad Dubinion, Jaquindon Jackson, and I mean Rodney Hill. Also, this is someone that had transferred over to Florida State, or started at Florida State, then was at A&M. That's another one I think could end up getting you the ball, getting the ball quite a bit as well. Let's look over to the other side of the ball and Sam Pittman on, and this is one thing I've touched on a little bit, just because I haven't seen enough of these players. Linebacker depth.
You know, you got Stephen Dix, Larry Worth, who obviously did not go through spring ball, both very physical specimens. I also really like the addition of Wyatt Simmons and Brad Shaw, two freshmen. Now, I don't talk about freshmen a lot, you know, but those guys. So I think our depth at linebacker and who starts and all that's still obviously up for grabs. We don't know anything about Worth and Dix on the field other than what we saw from where they came from. But I do think that was something we had to address.
So just a couple of players that are mentioned there. Wyatt Simmons, who comes from a football family. He was at Harding Academy. I remember kids, I think it might have been Nate Olson, talking about Simmons as somebody that he thought might be able to have an impact as a freshman. And it sounds like if Sam Pittman, you know, has his name in his mouth at the first press conference before football season, he might be thinking the same thing. Dix and Worth, I mean, this is pretty interesting situations for these guys. It's linebackers who were productive players at a lower level of football. Marshall for Dix, and he was also at Florida State. Did play in all 12 games a few years ago, but never as a starter. Worth was at Jacksonville State. That's the team that Rich Rod coaches, and he was 5th on the team in tackles for them. You know, then there's a guy like Xavier Sori. There's some experience for Sori, but he had trouble cracking the top 2 at that position at Georgia. A lot of players would, so I'm not sure of the amount of football, just talking about in terms of playing that position he's played. Dix and Worth have played those positions a lot for a while, too. I mean, these are older players. It's the same idea as what we were talking about with the tackles, too, Matt. I mean, you got more experience at tackle, and you got some experienced players that are looking to make an impact at a higher level of football coming from, you know, good programs too in Marshall and Jacksonville State. And then we keep hearing about Carson Dean and Brad Spence and Alex Sanford. So potentially, Matt, there could be some depth at linebacker, but I really do think Xavier Sori will be the star of that position. Keep hearing about his speed, and I keep thinking that if you're recruited by Georgia, even if you couldn't crack, you know, the depth chart in your couple years there, there's something about that athleticism that has to stand out. It's the same idea with, Danico Slaughter at Tennessee. He didn't just crack the depth chart. He was one of their better members of the secondary. Jaheim Singletary, that's a kid I was wondering about. Redshirt freshman last year, had some moments, was at Georgia, and another player, you know, that should have that kind of athleticism to be able to come over here and make some plays too. Defense was the strength last year, Matt, and I think the going theory right now is offense probably a little bit more of a strength than defense, but it's certainly a much more balanced football team. Like, I don't know if we'll be looking by the end of the season and saying, yeah, the team was this because they couldn't get a first down. That's what you were looking at last year.
Simpatico. That's right. Let's be in cahoots.
It's one of my favorite words.
Let's be together, step in step. Just in theory, Phil, I know we lost our best defensive player, but in theory, if the offense is better, the defense should be better. We relied and yes, you got to have a strong defense, and we relied on our defense a lot last year. But it's tough when the defense knows if we let the team get over 17 points, we don't have a chance. And at least with this team, I feel like, hey, we should be able to get 24 points. There should be most games this offense. Especially conference games, Petrino, you just think, man, he's worth 3 touchdowns a game. And so if you can get that, and then what it does is it breeds a little confidence on the defensive side of the ball. You have a little more swagger when you go out there to play. It's you feel better because you know, like, hey, we get a stop, our offense is going to go score again. So I think it will help. I think both sides, if you can help each other, then you have a chance to go bowling.
Quick break. Back to wrap up our 12 o'clock hour right after this.
This is halftime.
Come get you some. 2728 Townsend Avenue is your off-road and performance center headquarters. They've got everything from lift kits, wheels, LED light bars, UTV parts and accessories, winches and tires. Need general 4x4 repair? No problem. Come Get You Some has one of the largest 4x4 shops in the States. They do it all, from installing a bug shield to building some of the baddest off-road machines in the country. Call them today at 782-6833. That's 782-MUD. Or check them out online at cgysoffroad.com. Come get you some.
Hey, Ty Richardson for Jim. They have several locations in the Arkansas area, but I specifically want to talk to you about Jim Mart number 10. Great deli. My goodness. Great lunch, great dinner. But have you had the breakfast yet? It's the best in town. And they have that convenient drive-through window. So when you're heading north or south on 540, take exit number 6 for Jim Mart number 10. 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith. Jim, the leading gas station and convenience store in the area.
When you need legal help, turn to the law offices of Craig L. Cook. With over 40 years combined experience, the Cook Law Team works for you. If you've been injured in an auto accident, hurt on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help with bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make Awake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witts Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make Awake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make Awake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witts Marine at Make Awake Bait and Tackle.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. West Ark Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact West Ark Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. West Ark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. Slow drains or high water bills, call West Ark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Hey, this is Ty Richardson for Jake Neal and his team at Jerry Neal's Barbecue. Jake's dad, Jerry, started cooking barbecue at Jerry Neal's in 1977, and Jake took over and has been doing the same thing ever since. I got ribs the last time I was there. Woo! Man, they were good. Don't forget about the catfish either. It's cooked to order, so it's hot and fresh every single time. The best catfish in the River Valley. Jerry Neal's Barbecue, Catfish, and Catering, 1823 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Maybe someday I'll be strong. Maybe it won't be long. I'll be the one who's tough. You'll be the one who's got it rough. It won't be long, and maybe I'll be real strong. Maybe I'll do things right. Maybe I'll start tonight. You'll never cry like me. Baby, let's just wait and see. Maybe I'll start tonight and do things right. can show me your slowly, room is time free. So the pain is shaking, violently making get up off my
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
Hey, congratulations and a very well-deserved to Arkansas pitching coach Matt Hobbs. D1 Baseball named him their number one assistant coach in the country. Assistant Coach of the Year is what they call it. Kendall Rogers tweeted that out yesterday, so very well-deserved. At the nation's fifth best earned run average, had potentially the best pitcher. He did have the best pitcher in the nation right there with him. And it's great to see somebody who works so hard being rewarded as such, though. And I also know Matt well enough to know that he's not too worried if anybody thinks he's a great coach or not, because I think he understands what he's doing. His players, his pitchers, they believe in the things he's talking about and what he's teaching. And I think he's a head coach in the making at some point. I don't know where it'll happen. But he is a head coach in the making. Sometime in the very near future. Isaac in Mount Ida wonders, when is he going to take a head coaching job? Yeah, I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine. I do know he'll be the pitching coach next year for Arkansas. But I remember when Missouri was open, the head coaching job, that would have been before last season. I thought he'd be a real candidate there. I don't see why he wouldn't have put in for it. I'm pretty sure he did, and. They ended up going with Carrick Jackson, who's a very good friend of Matt's. But, I don't know what the situation was with South Carolina, whether they put in feelers with him or not, but then they went and got Paul Maneri, which is a different level of coach and someone that's already won a national title as a head coach. I don't think Matt's been a head coach at any level yet, but he will be. He will be. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe the answer to the age-old question that everybody asks, who will be the next head baseball coach at Arkansas once Dave Van Horn calls it a career? Maybe. Just maybe, the answer is Matt Hobbs. I don't know what it ever will be, but I think it very well could be. Caleb in Batesville coming in with a take that he says most won't like. He says Pooh Paul was good, but isn't any better than any linebacker that Arkansas has right now. He doesn't think he was better than Grant, Morgan, or Bumper Pool. Doesn't think he'll be missed and easily replaced. I don't know if I'd say easily replaced.
I hope he's right. I'll say that. I hope he's right. I don't think he is right, and it's okay. But I think Chris Pooh Paul he's a Sunday guy. No question about it.
877-377-6963 if you have any thoughts on that. We'll have our third hour of halftime in just a moment. There are no guests. It is you and us. So be a part of the show or don't, and just keep listening. We'll keep talking either way.
Whether you are fishing a jetty on the Arkansas River or working around laydowns at Beaver, Washita, or Table Rock, the Heddon Super Spook Jr. is the topwater bait to call up summer bass. The Super Spook Jr. is a smaller version of the world's most famous topwater lure. The Spook is the original walk-the-dog lure and has been tricking big bass for almost 100 years. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle shops everywhere, the Heddon Super Spook Jr.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, And Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Whether it's torque, horsepower, or just extreme work, diesel trucks do their job. But when your diesel truck needs maintenance or repair, it's time to head to Extreme Diesel. Everything from standard maintenance to extreme repairs, including injector testing. Extreme Diesel delivers. They have the tools and service for your Cummins, Duramax, or Power Stroke. You trust your truck to deliver on your needs, and you can trust your truck at Extreme Diesel, 6630 Alma Highway between Van Buren and Alma. Check them out on Facebook or give them a call at 651-3363. They're bilingual, now offering CP4 solutions for both Chevy and Ford.
Summer camp, vacation, travel baseball, repeat. Family reunion, lake time, I'm beat. A parent in the summertime is a glorified chauffeur, but if you find yourself in a fender bender, you'll need a good lawyer. I'm Jackie Mock. With 12 years of experience in insurance and car wreck cases, I can help get you back on the road for more summer fun. Mock Legal Solutions, real advice, reasonable price.
Now we will share a lifetime of the fondest memories.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, lots of sunshine. Our high temperatures this afternoon will be in the middle to upper 90s. We will see mainly clear skies overnight, low near 75. Sunshine upper 90s on Thursday, and then Friday more of the same with plenty of blue sky and sunshine, a high upper 90s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by real estate agents Nick and Ellie Glidewell. Ready to serve. KERX Paris Fort Smith. The Bud Light Countdown is on. Arkansas football begins in 29 days.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect it. If I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head.
I have zero respect for saying no moss at halftime.
Number one Razorback is vintage Matt Jones. Here we go. Right now, let's take the field.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Welcome back. 1 minute after 1 o'clock in the afternoon on ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com. Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Kristen Johnston with you for the next 60 minutes. A lot of open time for calls and texts. You want to set the conversation for us. It's 877-377-6963. I was just about starting to talk, Matt, and then realized I better blow my nose, but otherwise I'm going to have one of those gross moments that will just kind of keep coming out.
Get you an NIL with Kleenex.
That's right. That'll work. I've already had texts from friends offering boxes of tissues. Thinking, well, I got a few of those lying around as well.
Some hot tea with a little honey in it, maybe. I don't know. Just kind of getting the good stuff in you. Keep getting the good stuff in you.
And one thing I won't be doing around 6 o'clock, 6:30 in the afternoon. No cocktail hour today. Usually, it's not going to happen. Not going to happen with the vid. Speaking of reacting to grossness dropping out of somebody's face, I saw. So we talked about James McCann is like one of the baddest baseball players of all time. With what happened 2 days ago, getting beamed on the nose, not a glancing blow. I'm talking flush, right there. Obviously broke his nose. There's blood dripping. I don't even say it was dripping, because dripping is like a blip, blip, blip.
Gushing.
This was a faucet. Yeah, that was gushing blood. And I've seen, eventually he's still bleeding when he goes down to first base. He's got a bloody Orioles uniform on. And I think the only reason he really could have stayed in the game is that the Blue Jays changed pitchers, which gave him about, 3 minutes to stop the bleeding, get a fresh jersey, and go back. Figure out whether or not, I don't really think it's like the running the bases, the hitting. It's being a catcher, and looking through that catcher's mask and needing to see what's coming at you at potentially 100 miles an hour.
You probably got one eye still, like it probably one of those, but one of those swole up. Yeah, that's. I think you're right there. I mean, catching a splitter, catching a slider, and then being able to react. So when the pitcher does miss his spot, and then you got to react. I mean, and catching the ball, ooh, that had to be tough.
Right, like that's the thing. I imagine it's just a little bit more difficult to be able to pick up the spin of the ball, but he's calling the pitch, so he knows what's coming. As a hitter, though, you don't know what's coming. So the spin, what you see, matters so much, or the shape of the ball, as Bubba talks about on our baseball broadcast. And I imagine it's a little tougher to see it. Eyesight's so huge. Why do you think Wild Thing got glasses in Major League, right?
He had your boy, I can't think of Steven's last name, but Pommel Steven. He had the glasses on like that, yeah.
Netarosik. Did you see, he doesn't just wear glasses, he's practically blind. Like, he's cross-eyed. And he said, I don't need to see.
He's just all field. Yeah, it's all there. Field. Yeah.
I wondered maybe like for McCann with catching too, part of it's also feel, but sight is just such a major part of playing a sport with a ball. I mean, I've read stories of pitchers like, there was a guy named Bob Veal who was a big right-hander for the Pirates. Another guy named Ryan, I can't remember. It was a pitcher for the Yankees in the 60s. That was known to have awful command, and he wore the big Coke bottle glasses, like almost the size of an old television screen. Yes. Well, Rambis, didn't he wear goggles?
I thought they were square Clark Kent. He might have went to goggles. Kareem wore the goggles, but I thought Kurt had the black frames.
But they would wear these Coke bottle glasses and then potentially maybe even take them off when they're on the mound to scare the hitters a little bit more. Because then, 95 miles an hour was really, really hard. Now everybody's throwing that. And they figure they don't know where that thing's coming in. But anyway, how did I get on this? Oh, yeah, the McCann thing. The MASN telecast stayed on McCann throughout almost the entire episode of him getting beamed, going down, getting up, blood all over the place. I mean, they zoomed in on him to see the blood gushing out of his nose. And there's a lot of viewers, there's a lot of people that are out there that are listening right now. Just like a lot of people can't take the word moist. Some people really can't stand the taste of cilantro, and therefore the word cilantro makes them, makes their skin crawl, and it's like nails on a chalkboard. The sight of blood, for a lot of people, you get it, maybe a little drop, fine. They saw, I don't know how much blood came out of his nose, out of his face, live on television, but it was a lot. They grossed out fans all around the viewing area. It's nothing that really makes me sick. The grossest thing I ever saw, we had a pitcher with the Midland Rockhounds. I think his name was Darvin, I can't remember, Darvin Wimbush or something like that. And this was at the old days at Ray Winder Field. It's 100 degrees outside. We have a day game. And I come to learn in the first inning that the kid went out there and he's got a stomach bug. At 102 degrees, middle of the day, middle of August. And he's out there literally spewing chunks all over the infield. And I'm thinking, maybe we might want to go get this guy. Because when you're barfing on the field, and it's not just once, now it's time to go get somebody. It's like somebody, I don't know, you ever see, I'm sure in football it happens. Guys throw up in the locker room.
During camp, yeah, people would lose 13 pounds at practice. Some of the heavier guys, I mean, you would lose 13. On average, you're going to lose 6 pounds out there at a camp practice.
It's like you got to clean this stuff up. You don't want to clean it up.
Donovan
get him off
McNabb
the field.
is who I think of in the Super Bowl. When he was throwing
was that
up
from nerves.
And
I think that was from nerves, wasn't it?
I really don't think it was nerves. I know some people, maybe some of the players might have said stuff like that.
That's
but I
where
think
he and T.O. had a split.
It's getting some of that potassium. You go and get there's certain things they'll give you, those gel packs, and you get all that stuff on the sideline, and you chug it down with water. And if you don't have the right stuff on your body, it could come back up real quick. So I think it was some of that, but. It could have been. It could have. I hope not. Donovan McNabb, he's a another two-sport guy that could go. Man, he was
Wasn't he a point guard at Syracuse? Right?
Yeah. He would be a guy that I guess he's a little after the 2000s, but I know Michael Vick. I can't believe he wasn't on the top 100 athletes since the year 2000. But Donovan McNabb as well would be one of those guys I thought would have been on that list.
Seth texted in, and I think this is a salient point, just about McCann and playing with a broken nose. When you're the catcher, I mean, you are taking that mask off and putting it back on over and over and over again. Just a little bit of pressure from that mask against a face that is swollen from broken, who knows how many bones in the nose were broken or how many other fractures he might have there. Just the feeling of putting the mask on and wearing it had to be incredibly uncomfortable. Nuts. Jesse in Springdale. I remember this one, Jesse. Clint Malarchuk was his name. He was the goaltender for the Buffalo Sabres. And didn't this happen recently, too? This might have happened this last NHL season as well. The Malarchuk thing happened when I followed hockey. And I think this happened last year, and I can't remember to what goaltender it happened to. I mean, there's the amount of contact in front of the goal in hockey is incredible, especially when they're coming in at sprint speed on a breakaway. And I don't remember the name of the player whose skate got Malarchuk on the neck, but he sliced his jugular vein on the ice. And I'll never forget the photo. It was in Sports Illustrated.
That was in England
there was blood,
or something, right? Yeah.
That was in Buffalo, New York.
Okay. I thought the guy died. It was he was in Russia or England, so this is a different one.
This one, Malarchuk had his life saved, like practically on the ice, had his life saved. I remember the photo. You could see the blood drip, gush, spurt. The blood was spurting up like a foot up. That, I don't need to be causing crashes out there on the interstates because people are probably cringing right now. But I remember that one, Jesse. I definitely remember that one. And that might have been the moment that I thought to myself, yeah, maybe hockey isn't the choice.
Blades of Steel. Ooh.
877-377-6963. Anytime you want to get with us. What do I have on the TV now? It's still the men's gymnastics all-around final. I don't know the situation what's happened with the Americans in this, but it doesn't look like there's going to be an American who medals. But I haven't been able to follow it like extremely up close while I've been on the show today, just because. You got 3-on-3 basketball coming up as well. Did you see they lost to Serbia yesterday? Your boy Jimmer Fredette is the star of the American team. It's been a while since I read about Jimmer Fredette or heard anything about him or watched him play, but I guess he's one of the best 3-on-3 players in the world.
We'll see if his star can continue to shine, if he can go find the light again. Because losing your first one in pool play is not good. They can still get out of it. The American men's team, though, they play here at 2:00 against South Sudan. I think that's with a big game because what would that be? That'd be 8:00 over in Paris. About 6 hours difference. So that's kind of the night game, the thing that's going. So yeah.
Do you see who's funding South Sudan? Luol Deng.
Duke. He's a Duke Blue Devil. That's right.
I remember him.
He was one of the first to sign a deal. He signed that big deal with the Chicago Bulls, like just 171 type million deal. He was one of the first to get a deal like that.
He had himself a nice NBA career. I think he was an all-star a couple of times.
Solid. He's athletic. He's long. He could shoot, and he could defend. That was his thing. He was smart enough and knew how to play defense. He didn't really have like a bad. I mean, he had a good first step and could shoot and play defense, run the floor. That type of thing. He was a solid. I mean, he's a solid basketball player.
One of my favorite things on the sports reference pages is that you get the nicknames of them too. Luol Deng's nickname, you had two of them. Dangerous, and the man from Sudan. Which, of course, South Sudan is as I've been hearing, it is the youngest country on the face of the earth. I don't remember the year that it actually gained independence from the rest of Sudan, but I think it was within the last 10 years. And I remember watching Luol Deng play for Duke. No, I didn't watch him too much after that, but he'd have himself a nice little career. They almost lost to South Sudan. LeBron had the winning basket, with like 2 seconds left, a layup?
LeBron.
Let's not have that happen again. I mean, I'm all for good, entertaining games, but maybe not today.
LeBron's big boy in him. That's for sure. Yeah, if the USA team, that's the thing. The world is getting amazing at, and I think Pascal Siakam plays for South Sudan. I mean, they got some good players, but it's they're spread out. USA still has the best talent of players. I think we'll be fine. I still see USA winning this game by double digits.
877-377-6963 if you want to get with us here on Halftime. Stay with us. Back in just a moment.
This is Halftime.
Together we stand as tall as the Tower of Old Maid. Our memories are etched in stone like names on senior walk, and our blood flows razorback red. For 100 years we've been hog wild, and today we continue the tradition. We are Arkansas Razorbacks.
Listen to every Razorback football game this season right here on ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Pay attention. This happens fast. Routine, scheduled, maintenance. You know it's coming one day, but that day's in the future. Then the future comes, and your wallet's not ready for that $250 maintenance. But your forklift is. It needs it. Good thing you're smart. You're buying a used forklift from Medley Equipment Company this summer, and its first planned maintenance will be free because Medley keeps you moving.
I'm branch manager Dennis Mabry. Visit medleycompany.com or see us at 4001 Harper Avenue, Fort Smith, Arkansas.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch, big old slab. C'est bon, Sakhalin.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC, MMA, and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Bet online. The game starts here.
This song hit number 2 without one guitar. Gary Wright traveled with George Harrison to India for spiritual enlightenment and wrote Dream Weaver, describing God as infinite love and compassion, seeing him through the trials of the night. Of the 330 million gods of Hinduism, not one will get you to the morning light, but only through the blood of Jesus Christ. Satan is a master deceiver, weaving many into make-believers. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
Hey, ESPN 96.3 and hitthatline.com. Have you been to Swark Liquor? Trey Gentry and his team have a phenomenal spot. It's the first liquor stop in Arkansas for our Dallas and Texas fans traveling up to the hill. So if you're heading to Fayetteville, the lake, a cabin weekend, hunting, fishing, or any other activity you need your favorite drink, stop by Swark Liquor. And check out their apparel too. You'll want to wear it. Swark Liquor, 864 East Collin Ray Drive into Queen, Arkansas. Swark Liquor, we promise to keep them cold for you.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal.
Dude.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I think I'm just going to let my mind and my eyes see what I see and go from there. The one thing about it is if you're always worried about what if something happens wrong with what you decide, then you'll never take a chance, And so my first 2.5 years, I think I just decided what I wanted. So that's one of them. Be positive in the preparation, understand where we're going to go if we decide to do something. If we decide to go for it, understand where we're going. Are we confident? If I hear a doubt of confidence on the head side, just say, okay, let's punt the ball or let's kick the field goal, whatever it may be. Organization-wise, I think I'm better with this overall staff, not just the football staff, but the overall staff and importance of all what they do. I think I have a better grasp of NIL than I had before.
Sam Pittman with a long answer on things he's learned as a head coach. His fifth year being a head coach. I think there's always going to be something to learn about being a head coach right now. It's just think about the time and the era of college football that we're in to learn about being a head coach. It's tough. I mean, it'd be difficult just to, be thrown into the fire to begin with, even if it was 15 years ago. But now Sam Pittman, the first thing he had to navigate was a COVID season. That was the first thing he had to navigate was through a COVID season. It's the weirdest season that anybody's ever been a part of. After that, you get a transfer portal that starts opening up to everybody for one transfer. Then it becomes transfer as many times as you want. Then name, image, and likeness becomes a thing. And it's a completely different game, Matt, than even when he took over. I mean, it's still 4 downs and 6 points for a touchdown. You get your extra point. The kickoffs are the same and all of that. But off the field, it's a heck of a lot different. And he's had to maneuver through all these things while also learning about what to do in the game and all these decisions.
Well, I'm a Coach Pittman fan. I like his staff that he's assembled around him. I would say this is probably his best staff he's had up there since Barry Odom's left. That whole crew left. He's in that we saw how the success he was able to have. So I like the people he has around him, and I think they hit on some of their guys. We don't know yet. That's that's one of the questions, Phil. That's definitely one of the questions I have is who are going to be the leaders, who are going to be the dudes on this team. Is it going to be Armstrong, a guy we've seen, or is it going to be Jaquindon Jackson, a guy we haven't seen? How good is the baseball player going to be, the 28-year-old kid that came in? You're still looking around to see, well, who's it going to be this year? And that's what they're about to decide. I mean, you're putting money in the bank every day at practice. Every day at practice, you go out and have success and do what the coaches tell you and keep winning, keep competing. That's going to translate to Saturday or Thursday night. That's the first day we play, but game day. So they just keep working, and coaches see that show up on camera and on tape, and then you get a chance come game day.
This is the strongest team we've had by far, leanest team we've had by far, and I just really like the camaraderie, the togetherness of the team. They're fun to be around. They're working. Anytime you can work and you really don't know it because you're enjoying what you do. I feel like Ben's made this the toughest summer that we've had. I felt like we did the same thing in spring ball. We're going to do the same thing in fall camp. But I don't know how you can get your depth charts right and all that if you don't do that kind of, you have to be in tough situations to understand how to handle them. And we don't want that to be on a Saturday afternoon. We want to have it in the summer and spring ball. But to say we've had some really great strides. I think the guys that came in after spring ball are some guys we probably need to talk about at some point, because I think we really hit. I think there was about 11 guys that came in, 10 or 11 after spring ball was over, that I think will help us. But our numbers are way up. The guys that we brought in are some of the stronger guys on our team.
See, that's a faster, stronger, bigger kind of a thing, but it's also one of those, I mean, it's saying this without really saying it, the best shape of his life, which is the thing that people joke about when you hear, a manager or a head coach or whatever, talking about his team or his players in the preseason. Everybody's in the best shape. They're faster than they were before. Camaraderie's at an all-time high. And there's nothing against Coach Pittman, because you've got a job to do in this case. You got to go up in front of the cameras and speak. A lot of the same things are said year after year. And that's also why I know Souders yesterday brought up, we hit on all of the guys out of the portal. I don't know if he meant the guys that came in after spring or if he meant all of them that came into the portal. But if they hit on everybody that's in the portal, they'll probably be the only team that does that, because nobody hits 100% on the portal. I don't think they know whether or not they've hit on everybody out of the portal yet. And I don't think you'll really have a sense until you've played 2 or 3 games.
Right, and that's one thing that Coach talked about, was making summer workouts tough, making spring ball tough, making live action, so when you get there on game day, it's not as tough, and hopefully it'll come to fruition. I'm with you. I don't know if it's possible to hit on everybody, but you're going to have to hit on some, and I will say that you are going to be taller, stronger, faster, when you're on your 4th off season instead of being on your second, like these kids. So they should be. We went out and got some bets. I think that's this. I don't know what the numbers are, but when you see like the teams going to the Final Four the last couple years, it's like redshirt junior, graduated senior. Same thing with this football team. I think we're older, and I think that will benefit us.
I would imagine that they did hit on quite a few of these players out of the portal. But that's also me. I think, as Chuck mentioned it yesterday, I mean, I'm coming from more of a perspective of hope. I haven't had my eyes on these guys or not. I know their names. I know their headshots. I know some of their statistics and where they played, and might have had my eyes on them a couple of times with the previous team they played for. But we don't really even know. We don't even really know. There's so many new players that have come in that it really, to me, it feels impossible that you can hit 100% on everybody that's come out of the portal. If you hit on 60, 70%, you've probably done really, really well.
I have one right now. I have one scholarship. I don't know if I put another guy on, put Josh Street on. That was a year and a half ago.
So he's talking about one scholarship left. We're really, that means they've given out 84 scholarships. That means they have 21 more to give for next season. Think about that. Are you thinking in the back of your mind, if you're Sam Pittman, if you're any of the position coaches, are you looking at some of these kids who are walk-ons and are not on scholarship, and you're thinking, yeah, that one will go on scholarship next year, this guy, some of them must be thinking that they're competing for scholarships for next year as well. How often do you really think when you're in camp on July 31st, 2024, that you're fighting for a scholarship in 2025? They're trying to help this team this year get better, but you got it in the back of your mind, at least know if you're one scholarship, one still to give right now, you really have 21 to give for next year. And that's on top of whomever you lose, whomever's coming in from the portal, whomever's coming in as freshmen, and the usual attrition now in college football, which feels like it's near 50%.
Every time that tape's on, you're being evaluated. The thing with scholarships, we're just handing them out to guys to hand them out, because there's not.
Because you have to, right?
That's what I mean. There's not that many guys that your team really. It's about 50 guys that are going to be playing the most. It's not. You're not going to have 85. But some of them are. It used to be to your freshmen or guys that that needed to get a college offseason in them or not. But maybe if you can go and evaluate the talent and you got the right NIL money, but 105, there's just not that many qualified. That's the thing. You're really taking a flyer on somebody that's never going to play, but you can't. It's not the kid's fault, and if you can get your college paid for, good for him.
I really wonder if it's also part of trying to respect the idea that if you're on a team, then you're working for that team. That's partially what this, direct pay to players is all about. They're not going to call them employees, but essentially now they're being paid to work and be a football player while at the same time being a student. So in that case, you have, and this is where I think they might be going to. There's like a class structure on a college football team, and those who are on scholarship and those who are not, those who are having everything paid for them, and those whose parents are still paying for school, or those who are taking out loans so that they can go to school and, yes, at the same time put X amount of hours a day into practice and study on the team and everything that goes into being a college football player. A little added respect into the idea that these guys are working while the starters and the 2s and the 3s are also working as well. I wonder if this is a reason why. But there's also, this is Sam Pittman on the 105 scholarships and potential loss of the walk-on tradition.
Well, I really don't like it, to be perfectly honest with you. Now, you're going to be able to chop up your scholarships, which now it's 85 fulls. You're going to be able to, reward some other guys. The problem is, are we going to go 85 and 20? Nobody in the SEC wants to lose the walk-on program. Nobody. Hell, we got the Burlsworth Trophy. Nobody. And if you go down and look at the list of guys who have won that as starting out as walk-ons, and have won that trophy, it's an incredible list of kids that, hell, we had one in Grant Morgan. Imagine Grant didn't play at the University of Arkansas because we couldn't eventually help him.
Yeah, it feels like another world where walk-ons are not part of college football and therefore maybe not part of college sports. But I also wonder at the same time, like anybody that might have paid attention to the first ever Olympics, and I'm just throwing this out there, this is like a what if. To them, for however long tug of war was a part of the Olympics, that felt like that made sense to them. It's been a long time since they've had tug of war. Some things that make sense go away, whether you believe they should go away or not. And the coaches want walk-ons. I think it's a tradition that's worth preserving. But that doesn't mean that it's going to stick around, because the new iteration of college football is about payment to players. Are you paying players that are not on scholarship? I think that's partially what all of this gets to as well. 877-377-6963. Work now, pay later. Sizzling savings going on to WT Equipment right now. No money down, no interest, and no payments until next year on select New Holland equipment. 0 for 60 or up to 10,000 cash back, plus free net wrap on roll belt round balers, or choose 0 for 72 or up to 10,000 cash back on mid-range tractors, or 0 for 72, plus an additional 2,000 cash back on a new compact. Work smarter, no money down, no interest, and no payments on your choice of this summer's hottest deals at WT Equipment, your partner in progress. 877-377-6963 is our number on halftime. Home stretch of the show is coming after this.
You trying to say Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball?
This is Halftime. You can now download our new app in the iTunes or Google Play Store. Listen anytime and anywhere on your favorite mobile device. Just search Hit That Line now.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season.
I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Being young with unlimited energy to burn. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think you could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
All guys lose their edge when they turn 40. The body has less testosterone. That's why I take Nugenix Total T.
I've heard about Nugenix. That really works?
Since I started taking Nugenix, I'm lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. I feel more energized at work. It's even spiced up things between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try?
Yep, send a text. It's that easy.
Text KING to 42424 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text KING to 42424. That's KING to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Waiting on someone to bale your hay,
Come in to Gray Brothers Equipment and let us show you how affordable only your own Kubota hay equipment can be. Bale your hay when it's ready, not when it's burned up. With economical pricing at Gray Brothers and affordable interest rates from Kubota, this year is the year to bale your own hay. That's Gray Brothers Equipment in Fort Smith and Poto, where if you pick orange, you'll never get a lemon.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
The Wave Rural Connect Shoal Creek Zone is open. Fast fiber internet, TV, and home phone available. This covers Midway, New Blaine, Scranton, Delaware, and other areas. Even if this isn't your zone, check your address. We might be available for you. Get your whole home solution. Internet, TV, and phone from a local provider. Go to signup.waveruralconnect.com or call 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Are you tired of the overcrowded fitness centers? Would you like a fitness option where you can actually work out? Then let's hang out. The Hangout is Fort Smith's newest fitness facility. It has an 8,000 square foot gym, indoor tennis, pickleball, and basketball with more sports coming soon. The Hangout offers group and individual training in the gym and boasts 3 active tennis pros to help you grow your game. Stop in today at 5400 Gary Street or thehangoutfs.com for more information. Be a part of something different. Fitness, sports, and more. Let's hang out.
When you need tough and paint just isn't enough, check out River City Coatings in Van Buren. When it comes to your metals, paint can peel and crack over time. Whether it's your patio furniture, rims or trims on your automobile, or heavy equipment, no one has time for a redo. Powder coating provides the toughness you need. Preserve your investment with powder coating from River City Coatings. River City Coatings, certified John Deere, Caterpillar, ISO 9001, Packer, and UL provider of tough. River City Coatings, 471-7675 or online at rivercitycoatings.com.
The best Tex-Mex and even better service is at Joe's Grill and Cantina in Fort Smith. Every Friday is Fajita Friday, featuring their charbroiled steak and chicken. It's tender, full of flavor, and comes with all the fixings. Saturdays are for endless enchiladas with Joe's homemade enchilada sauce and all the beef, chicken, or cheese enchiladas you can eat. Joe's Grill and Cantina. Great Tex-Mex, even better service. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I ride to give word the war is over. Send my cinders home to mother. They gave me a medal for my valor. Then trumpets spit the soot of power. They say your side when nobody is, 'cause nobody is. Come sit right here and sleep while I slip poison in your ear.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Matt, I'd meant to bring this up yesterday, but I'd forgotten to. We'd had a couple of listeners that wanted you to mention any memories you have of Coach Jim Rowland, who passed away last week. Worked at the Fort Smith schools for a long, long time. I know that's somebody that did have an impact upon you. What do you remember about Coach Jim Rowland?
Yeah, Coach Jim Rowland, man. He was kind of had that Jerry West look to him, had the gray hair. My mom was a teacher there at Fort Smith Northside. He was the Fort Smith AD. My dad being a coach in this area. And then, his brother, my uncle, was the superintendent at Greenwood. There's a lot of people. You kind of small town. Everybody knows everybody. Man, he was always super nice to me. Always good to my family. I think that's he was a great dude. I don't know what I haven't talked to him in 20 years or so, but I'm sure my parents have and stuff. But he was, like I said, he was always good to me and good to my family.
Oh, let's see. We're batting on the on the Olympics here. Oh, Simone Biles, 8-time gold medalist, 28 years old. We think of gymnasts as when you're 28, you're coaching somewhere, right?
That's a dinosaur. Yeah, it's a 17-year-old that's 24 even. You're kind of getting old in the gymnastics world.
But at 28, she still does things that no other gymnast can do.
I wouldn't put it past her to be at the Olympics when she's 32. I mean, I don't know if that's what she wants, but to be in the USA, to be in America in front of your home crowd and just the performance, they were sticking their landings, just that the team. Oh, I wouldn't put it past her. She's talented.
I think she's got a little bit of the Michael Jordan, keeping receipts thing.
She's a little bit of a competitor. Yeah.
Just a little bit.
A little petty. Most competitors are a little bit petty.
Is petty the right word?
A little bit, well, I don't know what the right word is, but it's a little bit I'll show you. I'll let you know. It's, what was it? D. Wade was talking about. He goes, yeah, I saw Mark Few of Gonzaga, and they were talking. He was doing, he should be doing the broadcast today, so you get to listen to him. I like D. Wade. I like the way he goes about it. But he was talking about some tournament they had in Seattle when he was at Marquette, and one of the guys brought it up. He goes, "Oh no, we won. Coach Few knows who I am. He knows who I am." It's like they remember stuff from 23 years ago that you're like, yes, they do.
I don't remember. Man, I wish I could remember who this was. But it was somebody that was drafted way later than he thought he was going to be drafted. And again, I can't remember if this was basketball or football. But this athlete listed everybody that was drafted in front of him. And this is years later. Like it was 31, 32
Drew Brees
players.
did that. I know that. I had a teammate, Maurice Jones-Drew. He chose the number 32 because he went in the second round. He said every team passed on me. Even I was like, but the Jaguars, they still took you in the second round, so shouldn't you get 31? But he wasn't listening to my theory.
So that's not the petty necessarily. That's just like, all right, I need something to remind me of what others think about me. Now, in a lot of cases, it's not others like a grand all these others. it's specifically, the teams that picked ahead of you. Or in Biles' case, like I can imagine all the receipts that she was keeping on people that were giving her, all this, all the problem about, not wanting to compete when she had, I think, what was referred to as the twisties, which I don't think any of us really understand what that feels like. To me, that feels more like, oh, you would wonder why can't, it's like we talk about Chuck Knobloch, Steve Sachs, Rick Ankiel, people who grow up and being able to throw a baseball to a dime and then all of a sudden can't even throw it within 20 feet of the target that you're aiming for. That's what I remembered thinking about the twisties and criticism of Biles for not standing up there for her teammates. But, man, when you're twisting in the air like that, it's a little bit different. Like if you land improperly, and I've seen, heck, I mean, you saw the male gymnast, the American male gymnast, who had a horrendous injury that broke his leg in 3 different places. That's the same thing. You lose your place in the air, you don't know where you're going to land. So she kept a lot of receipts on that. But then it's different with this, former teammate of hers. It's, I guess you're expected once you go on an interview and you're no longer on the team that when somebody asks you about what you think about the team, that you say, oh, they're going to win. Everybody on the team is great and they try hard and they're practicing hard and I think they're just as good as any of the other American teams. But that's not what Michaela Skinner did. She said outside of Biles, it's not the most talented team. I don't think they work very hard. And, it's like looking at her Twitter, meaning Michaela Skinner's Twitter. She put out an apology, a lengthy apology for what she was being honest the other day on this YouTube interview. And before that, it's like she was celebrated. She's throwing out the first pitch of the Diamondbacks game. She's congratulating a new coach at the University of Utah, which I think is where she went to school. Now that'll be a quiet Twitter for quite a while, just like the young lady that sang the anthem at the Home Run Derby. Won't hear from her for a little bit, unfortunately, and that's for reasons we know why.
I'm on Ingrid's side. That's for sure. The other girl, does it sound like any sour grapes? Was she a part of the last Olympic team, or is she like, where was she in the pecking order?
She was a silver medalist with the 2021 team.
Yeah, so she knows which. Okay, yeah, I don't, man. That's it's kind of I don't buy too much into it. I think Jaylen Brown kind of had the same thing in the basketball. He kind of came out with some stuff. I think you have to be careful to not be personal, and I think Jaylen Brown did better than what she's doing. You can't really attack anybody. You can show your displeasure, your dislike for not making the team or whatever you feel, which Jaylen Brown had a right, but there's a couple other ladies that probably could have made the team too. Just you kind of got to be careful when you're going all in on that, because aren't you still supporting your American brothers and sisters out there? I know you didn't get to make it, but you still got to kind of wave that flag for them.
877-377-6963. There it was. It was Scott and Harrison said Mahomes counted off on his fingers at Chicago after throwing a touchdown the number of choices drafted ahead of him. Aaron Rodgers is the same way. I think he remembers everybody that was drafted ahead of him. Pretty sure about that. Do you remember everybody drafted ahead of you?
Well, I was drafted ahead of Aaron Rodgers, so I know I got somebody fired. I tricked him for a few years. That's for sure. I could trick him for only so long, then I was found out.
Oh, where else to go here? Oh, I saw that John Calipari brought this up the other day. I know Ruskin and Zach were mentioning it yesterday. I didn't know about this. Wants to do a Razorback basketball fantasy camp, which really, heck, Matt, you might as well put in to be part of a Razorback fantasy basketball camp.
My whole life's a fantasy camp, just like
yeah,
Kramer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, people should pay money to live like me. Yeah.
You can still get up and down the floor. You can still put up a jump shot.
I'll go play the Blessings with you. I'll go play Fayetteville Country Club. We'll go do that. But as far as running up and down the court, no, sir.
I wonder who it is you're going to get back for something like this. And I've seen
Joe Johnson apparently, right? Like he's going to be part. He's
he just come out and school everybody.
Absolutely.
But I remember the first, fantasy camp became a thing in the 80s, and it was a baseball thing. It was like before spring training, you would bring in
Tom Selleck,
rich guys that paid thousands of dollars to put on a uniform next to Mickey Mantle or somebody. And, it's not like you're playing against the team right now, but you're playing against the older guys and trying to measure yourself against them too. People, they're not. It's like, all right, if Mickey Mantle's hitting against you, first of all, I don't think Mickey Mantle would have taken part in a fantasy camp. He would have done Old Timers Day. That's a different thing. At fantasy camp, you're going up against those who are now thinking, now's my chance. All those years, all those high school stories I was telling, that time that I spoke to the scout where they didn't want to, they told me they were going to draft me, but they didn't draft me because I had a hangnail and I didn't know how to take care of it properly or something like that. Now's my chance to get out there and show them what I'm made of. You could just see somebody trying to undercut Oliver Miller, right? And trying to box him out and end up breaking your back in the process. That's a guy, I wonder if he could get up and down the floor right now, too.
Big O. No, that's why you see that 3-on-3, the big three. It's all older vets that have a little body to them that can bang. It's a very physical game. The older you get, you have to be a little more physical. But, yeah, that would be pretty cool. You start thinking of some of the, if Bobby Portis came back and just to get shots. Well, I don't even know if it's necessarily a scrimmage, but just to pass him the ball while he's shooting. The same thing was for Patrick Beverly's another guy. I'm trying to think of some other. You got
I could just see
Daniel
somebody
Gafford. Throw a lob to Daniel Gafford. Like, how cool would that be, right?
You remember I did the show in February at Baum Stadium, and it was before spring training started. It was before the college season started. And some of the Major League Razorbacks were out there, or professional Razorbacks were out there just having a live hitting session. Heston Kjerstad, Dominic Fletcher, Zach Jackson, Grant Cook, just to name a few of them. You think it's like, I told people on the show that was going on at that moment. That was your chance. That was your chance to sneak in, put on a baseball uniform, sneak in, maybe try to look like James McCann or somebody like that, sneak in, get inside there, and then talk your way into the batter's box to see what you can do against Connor Noland. It'd be a little bit of fun. And then I could be in the booth and I could describe it all and make fun of you while you're doing it too, because we'd have to. Greg in Farmington wants a halftime fantasy camp. You don't want to see, Greg, we don't do anything. We literally sit here looking at computer screens and making faces at each other through FaceTime. And then outside of that, you're already part of halftime fantasy camp. It's called listening to the entire show, which I think you do. And certainly a few of you do that. You get a fantasy camp every single day on ESPN Arkansas.
This really is a cool job. It really is a cool gig we got.
Rob says there used to be NASCAR fantasy camp. There you go. Just kind of rubbing tires with the Intimidator over by the wall there. And man, that'd be a lot of fun and dangerous at the same time. All right, we'll be back and wrap up halftime right after this quick break.
This is halftime.
It's summer clearance sale time at Jelco Outdoors. Save 25% off summer casual and fishing clothing by Ariat, Rig, Hook, Wrangler, and Under Armour. Old Town kayaks and canoes, marked to cost. Save hundreds of dollars on the Old Town while they last. Archers, get ready for early bow season. Don't miss the summer clearance sale at Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with the exciting news. Backed by popular demand, state sales tax paid when you trade on our huge inventory of road-ready certified vehicles. That's right. This month, get the best used car your money can buy, road-ready certified with warranty, and get your state sales tax paid when you trade. One more reason all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Walk-Ons is always a win, whether it's for a post-game celebration, drinks with the crew, or an easy weeknight dinner. Walk-Ons has you covered. Scratch-made dishes, wall-to-wall TVs, craft beers and cocktails. Dig into their mouth-watering menu items like po' boys, gumbo, and voodoo shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. Find your nearest location in Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Conway, and Little Rock, or order online or in the app. Walk-On Sports Bistro for the win.
The spring allergy and hay fever seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely take care of you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all of the over-the-counter allergy remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointment for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind the Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Brothers Roofing and Restoration, a licensed and insured local roofing contractor in Arkansas. Since his playing days for the Hogs, Brother Alexander has been on rooftops, many years as an adjuster, and in the past decade as a roofing contractor. He knows how to help you through the insurance process while replacing your roof using only the industry's best materials. And being a lifelong Arkansan, he'll be here to stand behind his workmanship and warranty. Call 479-353-3877 to arrange a time for Brother and his team to inspect your roof.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Herod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Has your job been grinding your gears lately? Then let me tell you about Lavorne Lumber. They're looking to fill a regional over-the-road position. They use brand new equipment in your home every weekend. Don't think you're getting paid enough? That's not the case at Lavorne Lumber. They're highly competitive in that area. So if this sounds like a great next job opportunity for you, then stop by and see Pam and the Bills Monday through Friday from 9 to 4 at Lavorne Lumber. 515 Phoenix Avenue in Fort Smith, and online at Lavorne, Lovvorn lumber.com.
The tires on your vehicle go round and round, but when they don't, go to Van Alma Tire. They have tires in their name. That's their specialty. Van Alma Tire is all about tires. They have all the name brands and private labels available for you and in stock. So when it comes to getting tires for your ride, it's worth the drive. And financing is available. Ask for details. Whatever your tire need, check out Van Alma Tires on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Ready to get you rolling on new tires at Van Alma Tire.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Don't you worry, that was I'm in no hurry. I'm going red. Time's getting tired. Time's getting tired. I'm up ahead. Getting tired. I better cha-cha-cha over. Let's spend the night together. I need you more than ever. Let's spend the night together now.
Welcome back into Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Studios. Crabtree RV Center in Alma, where we make your dreams come true.
All right, back on halftime here as we wrap things up. In remembrance of Paul Eels, 18 years to the day from when we lost Paul. I've got great memories of him when he was at KTV and would come over to cover the Travelers, and he was incredibly nice to me and everybody else that was there. Seems to be everybody's remembrances of Paul outside of the idea that he was a damn good TV broadcaster and a damn good play-by-play guy as well. And Matt, he called all your big moments at Arkansas.
Yeah, I think first year and second year, I want to believe he was still the guy there. But just sitting down and talking with him, you'll never forget just the warmth, just the feeling of, he's on your side. Just had that kind of like almost grandfather feel to me when I was a young little 18-year-old punk. Talking to him, he was super good to me, and man, he was one of the best to ever do it. I know we talk about, the tuna going back and watching tape and trying to figure out ways to get better. I mean, that's a guy, if you're into broadcasting and into doing play-by-play, that's a guy you'd want to study and just see how he goes about it.
Well, I know people still remember the voice. I know I do. I remember the smile and the voice and the friendliness, I think, at the top of the list.
I think that's the grandfatherness that I'm bringing. That's your word. You used a better word. That's what it's just like a friendliness, like it's a safe place whenever you were doing an interview or talking to him. You didn't feel like there was any shots that were going to be taken. You felt comfortable around him right away.
Nothing about Paul ever felt contrived doing play-by-play.
Very easy
either.
feel. Yeah.
It's like I always love when somebody sounds friendly just because they are and aren't making it up. Like it's not fake. And when he would shout, "Oh my," like you literally did think he just saw something that he couldn't believe that he just saw. The truth is, he'd probably seen that play about 15, 20 times in his life. So I just think he was being honest because it's like I grew up listening to a guy named Lanny Fratteri with the Pirates. He had that friendliness too. And I think that's something I didn't even think I'm trying to take as a broadcaster, but I hope that's one of the things I'm doing. $5,500 for a 6-day experience for Yankee Fantasy Camp, Matt. $5,500 for 6 days.
Is it Paul Molitor? Who was the guy that was in the booth that is like, you got to hit me too? That you think he'll be there?
Who? Paul O'Neill.
Paul O'Neill, saying
right.
Paul Molitor.
That's right. I saw Paul O'Neill in the Yankee booth when we were there last Monday.
He still looked like he could get in the batter's box and take a couple cuts.
It looks to me like he could get out and play some rugby sevens.
Well, yeah.
Michael Jordan Fantasy Camp, by the way, was a mere $17,000.
Whoa!
All right, good stuff today. Thanks for everybody and your calls and your texts and for listening today. I feel a heck of a lot better now than I did 3 hours ago.
Good.
We'll see what happens in about 21 hours, all right? Stay tuned for Ruskin and Zach. Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast is released, and we're back with you tomorrow. For Matt Jones, for Seaburger Unit Movie, I'm Phil. Thanks for listening. Get up, get out, and get better.
Do you want to see the Dallas Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas? Do you want to see the Dallas Cowboys take on the Philadelphia Eagles at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas on November 10th? Can you eat a Monster Burger in 150 seconds to qualify for the football trip of a lifetime? It's the 19th annual football